Audio, now there's audio, now there should be audio. Well, there we go. You see, it's just one disaster after another. I give up, I really do. I think I should just go back to writing books. It's far less, well, I don't screw it up as much, let's put it that way. Anyway, right, so let's do that all over again. Hello and welcome to today's show. I clearly need to go back to bed because, yes, well, yes, I think that's definitely where I need to go, or in a sane asylum or something. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the channel got absolutely phenomenally amazing news this morning, which I will share with all of you in due course. We will be announcing things hopefully on Friday's stream, so watch out for that. Something quite exciting, I think, especially if you are in Europe. I have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because, well, it's going to be pretty exciting. And of course, if you're in the US and you happen to be free around about 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays, I'm not saying anything specific, but if you are, then that could also be quite fun for you on Saturdays at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There might be something there for you to have a look at. Okie dokes, I'm glad that you can now all hear me. Let's move on. So, we're dealing with firearms. Now, firearms in fantasy traditionally cause an upset. They certainly did when they started to enter the battlefields in medieval Europe, where basically all of the knights and all their beautiful heavy medieval armor suddenly realized that it wasn't worth jack. People could just shoot you and the bullet would go straight through it. So, of course, everything started to change up when suddenly the common man, who hadn't spent years and years and years learning how to use a sword, could kill someone who had spent their entire life learning how to use a blade. So that kind of was a major game changer. If you think about it, to use contemporary stuff, and there's no spoilers because I haven't watched it yet. If you look at Game of Thrones, imagine how Game of Thrones would change up if suddenly all of the Targaryens were armed with machine guns. Things would change significantly. So, all those dragons, yeah, they're very interesting, but we're just going to mow them down with heavy artillery fire and they won't get anywhere near us. So, yeah, weaponry does change things. Now, Flint's character, if you recall, is from a fractured dimension that's slightly in the future, or in a very twisted version of Braxia. And in that future, we have these bizarre constructs, these ironborn creatures, basically warforged class, but yes, these ironborn who've been used principally to lay down railway tracks and to allow the various cities which have survived this massive catastrophe, if you like, to exist. And there was this fracture thing, and the Ironborn started to become self-aware. And as a result, there was some disagreements as to exactly how that should be used. And so, yes, Flint was basically born and escaped because he refused to lay down his... well, his individuality, I suppose you could say. Anyway, quite a tragic story where the farmer that he used to work with, the farmer died trying to save Flint, leaving his poor widow to run the farm that Flint basically escaped from through a portal, which is where he then met up with everybody else. Now, in this fractured world, there are the gnomes, and they are encased in these heavy metal breather suit type of things. The image I sort of have is of the Wonder Chiwan, I think they were called, from the Fifth Element, where they have these big metal suits around them, or Bioshock 2, where they've sort of got these big diving bell suits on. Anyway, the gnomes live in these things, and they kind of wander around, and they go hunting and looking for people like Flint, and posing and imposing law. The terrain is very difficult terrain because it's irradiated, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things happen as a result. Now, it's going to be a very interesting space. The characters are going to start to succumb to radiation poisoning, which is not fun. So we've got that to look at as well. The major effect, however, is the firearms. Now, the standard rifle does 2d10 damage, which, if you roll well, suddenly is 20 hit points or 15, 18 hit points gone from a character. Our characters did level up after the last adventure, but if I bring up their stat block, let me just check that I am bringing up their stat block. Give me a second here. Yep, there we go. If I bring up the stat block of, say, Warren, Warren here, Robin Warren Trebus. He's got an armor class of 18, so he is fairly difficult to hit. He has hit points of... Why are they not listed here? Where are they? They're normally listed down there. Hit points. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I have another way to skin this cat. I can come and look here where we can then see his hit points. Here, he has 39 hit points, so technically speaking, he could be downed in 2 shots. It's only Flint who theoretically would require 4 hits at maximum damage to survive. This does mean, however, that as the GM, I have to make sure that anyone who is wielding one of these flintlocks, the rifles, is a particularly bad shot. It is a little bit of GM armor covering, if you like, but the party really hasn't had much experience, much exposure to this type of environment, so it would be difficult, or dangerous anyway, to expect them to try and survive. Now, they can try and armor themselves, as the gnomes have done, but that will take some resources, especially since they found themselves at Fort Lost, which is out in the middle of nowhere, and I have just realized that I have thrown my notes out from last week. I wrote them on the back of a piece of paper. Yes, I know it was awfully sinful, but I couldn't find my book, so I was writing on a piece of paper, and I had the best intentions to copy it into the book. And then I forgot to copy it into the book. Anyway, my notes are there. I'm going to have to go and dig in the trash to get my notes out. But there we go. So Fort Lost under Colonel Bardock is the last outpost that our characters will have found themselves in anyway, and there is an objective to go and have a look at what is going on. MacCready seems to be doing something crazy, and they need to go and stop that from happening. He's trying to seal the rifts or shatter the rifts again. Anyway, they're going to go and try and do that today. So what that means is that we've got an encounter with the MacCready gnomes. I need to plan that quite carefully to make sure that the characters don't die. What I'm hoping they're going to do is go and reconnoiter, do some reconnaissance of the MacCready Ranch to begin with, and then come back to the fort, sort of come up with a plan with Colonel Bardock, who can help them. He has quite a lot of hit points. He does have one of these rifles. He could join the party to augment their armory as they try and make their way into the MacCready residence. Now, I do confess I don't have a map of the MacCready residence, and this is for 2 reasons. 1, I completely forgot, and 2, there was this bizarre thought in my head yesterday when I was prepping for the game that I have the map, which obviously I don't, so I do apologize for that. Although a thought does strike me now. If you'll bear with me, we do have 15 minutes before the game. So, can we, and I see there, I hope your notes haven't got any soggy or anything. No, I don't think the notes will have got soggy. Stranger, welcome to the stream. Yes, I will be DMing in about 15 minutes when the game kicks off. The environmental suits they were given, yes, you're quite right. They were given environmental suits. And... so yes, there is definitely something for them to look at. In terms of an armor protection, well, perhaps. Wurzel, I think perhaps go to bed and do catch up with the rest of the stream. We're on episode 9 or 10. I think it's actually 10. I think I mislabeled the stream. But yes, we're on episode 10. There's only a couple episodes left of the show. But, and if you're drunk, you certainly should never play Dungeons & Dragons whilst drunk. You run the risk of losing your dice, or swallowing them, perhaps, or even eating them. Anyway, I digress. What I wanted to do was to go to Dungeon Fog and see what we can see. Now, that's me. I'm crinkling my notes. Yep, there we go. Okay, good. I have got them. Yay. Right, so I'm in Dungeon Fog. I'm going to come back here, and we're going to have a look quickly and see. So that's the actual map that they're using, which is the train robbery. But I've done a couple other maps. Those are for some other adventures. Go to my maps. Let's see. There is the villa, which I could use. There's the generic warehouse, which I could use. There is the inn, which I could use. These are, I beg your pardon, these are all the maps that I have created here. We could do the Master's Cottage. No, I think that if we use, there's the generic warehouse, which I could use. There is the inn, which I could use. These are, I beg your pardon, these are all the maps that I have created here. We could do the Master's Cottage. No, I think that if we use, if we We could use Uther's Reach, as a matter of fact. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to open up Uther's Reach. We've got 13 minutes before the game. Now, there are a couple of things here we're going to have to adjust. So this is let's show all. This is Uther's Watch, but it could be a ranch as well, with a little modification. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to make it feel more like the why is it not selecting now? Okay, so there's the buildings. Those are fine. I need the ground. I don't know why it's not showing me. Oh, I know why. Layers, ground floor, ground plan. So the ground plan needs to change color to something similar to what I used in the train map. Okay, I'm going to darken that down. I don't know why it's doing that at the moment. Okay, great. So that sort of brings it more into alignment with the previous map. I'm going to make that size 200. So we can do that. Let's just hide this upper floor completely. We're going to select these green bits and make them brown quite quickly. It doesn't really matter what color they are, so long as it sort of feels. I really should learn how to color in better. Let's do that. Okay, how are we doing for time? Rocky soil. Okay, so we're getting some interesting patches happening here. This is not going to be water anymore, so that's something to bear in mind. This is going to be rocky road or something. Earth with pebbles. Dark soil might be better. Okay, and I'm going to change this. So easy. So what this now becomes is this now is a cliff that overlooks the ranch, which I quite like. Anything else? There are some other blue elements in here, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't mind if there's a little bit of water lying around. Still some green in here. I don't know where that's coming from. Anyway, it's okay. I will. There is the green. There is the green that hurts my people. Be gone, you foul beast. How are we looking for time? 10 minutes. 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes, everybody. Oh my god. Okay. Right. Good. Fine. And then I don't mind that because we've already established that that is what is there. So we turn this layer back on again. We go back here. We now have our muddy background with our cliff that overlooks. This won't be a stone floor anymore. It will be a wooden floor because of it being a gnomish place. This won't be a stone bridge anymore. It will be a wooden space. Same with this. And this. And these ones. Gosh, then I wish I had made it as a whole space now. But I didn't. It's okay. Scratched wood. No, what was it? Rotten wood. There we go. That works better. Okay, these stone walls. I'm going to leave them as stone walls. I don't necessarily have a problem with them being a stone wall. This can still be a stone house because it's probably a converted old castle anyway. Something that these gnomes have taken over. Okay, and we'll do that. I've got 8 minutes left. A little bit of original stone structure left there as well, which I quite like. Okay, cool. And then the last thing that we have to change is these must all go goodbye. Uh-oh. That could be a problem. it happens when I go too quickly. Because I'm so far away, it does happen. But Dungeon Fog saves. So the designers have shouted at me many times saying I've got to wait for the bounce ping thing, apparently. Okay, so there we go. Nice and slow. I'm going to leave that tree there. I'm going to come in here and just take out these trees. Why am I taking out the trees? Because these trees do not fit with my genre. Okay, 7 minutes to the show. What are we doing? What happened? Oh dear. Oh dear. What did I do? Reload. Let's see. Oh dear. Okay, those trees are still gone. Once you've broken it, you've broken it. No, that's not true. Okay, so gone. Can I draw a box? No. Okay, I want these trees gone because we have established that cacti are our principal foliage of choice. Still 7 minutes to air. I'm fine. We're okay. There's no panic here. Okay, looking good. Yes. Do we like it? Yes, we do. And then we're going to go here to furniture. I can turn off these layers now. We don't need to waste all that space. We are in the desert already. I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn on randomize rotation. I'm going to turn randomize scale between 60 and 170%. Yes, absolutely fine. Good, fine, boom, done. Thank you. And now we start to bring back our wonderful cacti to give it that feeling, that oh so good, juicy jungle in the desert feeling. Yes, I realized what I said. And let's put some down here and some over here. And let's throw in 1 or 2 sort of growing there and a nice big one there. My cast is standing by. They're kind of all looking, going, well, can we start, please? Okay, I'm kind of loving this. This blue shadow is actually working for me. I have to admit, I think it was a bit of a, oh, surprise, it works beautifully. So I'm quite enjoying that. Okay, let's just come over here a little bit. So what I'm doing here very quickly with 5 minutes to air is I'm creating some camouflage spots for the guys to hide behind if they're gonna go in camouflaged, which I hope they do. They can hide behind these cacti type of things. So I'm describing a little bit of a path here, if you like, so that they could use that to try and get up to that watchtower. There will be someone in that watchtower. If they take the person out, they can be in that watchtower, and I think that'll be quite strong for them to be there. All right, I think that's enough cacti. That certainly gives us the feeling. I want to do the same thing with these little flowers, because the flowers are quite pretty and they show that we care. So let's throw in some flowers here, just 1 or 2. I mean, they are pretty. Let's be honest. And let's be honest, they are quite pretty. So we'll put in some flowers. No, wait, wrong genre. I mean, you get music with this show, even when you don't get audio. I mean, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's value for money. That's what that is. That's what that is. Okay, great, good, fine, done. Brillos, I say. Brillos, I say. Okay, so there we have our ranch made for you live. So now we wait, and we're going to export this puppy, hopefully. with 3 minutes to go, and then use that in the game, because that's hopefully what's going to happen. Let me go to chat whilst that crunches. There we go. We are done. We want to export the entire thing, and we don't want to show the grid because we will be using that elsewhere. Of course, this is also a gigantic map. I mean, that's just typical me, isn't it? Typical me. And I'm going to go back here again very quickly. I'm going to open up this folder here and copy that and take it over to the folder that I put all of this stuff in, which, by the way, you will get access to all these maps if you are a patron. We will be sending them out at the end of the show, so there are just a whole bunch of maps in there. I'm going to say thank you for playing Dungeon Fog. I'm going to go to Fantasy Grounds very quickly. We've got 2 minutes left. Love it, love it, love it. Can we have less time? Let's wait for a minute. Let's go for a break. Go for a smoke break. That's what we need. That's what we need. That's what we need. I'm going to go back there again because I want to show you how we do this. What the hell did I call it? Ground floor, because, you know, that makes sense. Right click on Fantasy Grounds, give us a grid. We did it at 70 roughly. And oh, come on, and oh, just 71 is fine. And there we go. We have our map in Fantasy Grounds, our ranch map, just done, just like that, just bingo, on the fly, because that's how we roll. I'll have to position it during the stream. Yes, I understand this fact. I have failed there. But we now have a usable ranch. Those cacti, I question their placement, but I will live with said placement. And so, boom, there we go. One by ranch done. I hope you enjoyed that. And we've got 1 minute to spare. So look, 1 minute to spare. I'm going to sit back and have a cup of coffee. And then realize that I haven't done the gnome NPCs because that was something. And so let's have a look there. I am over all my flus and colds and things. Oh, no, we've got a gnome inquisitor. There we go. Okay, fine. Relax. We've got 30 seconds. Who's panicking? I'm not panicking. No one's panicking. Right, a whole minute. That's enough to brew a cup of Japanese tea. Sure, or black coffee. You know, anyway. So, if you weren't convinced that Dungeon Fog is for you, well, there we go. A stranger asks, what time is it for me? For me here in Japan, it is Tuesday, 10 a.m., or at least 9:59, which means I press the record button. I'm going to put my earphones on to make sure that my players are all alive. Yes, they are, unfortunately. So that means we have a game for you today. And that game is going to start, well, pretty much now. Hello and welcome to the show. Now, whilst I was visiting the map, I forgot to resize everybody because apparently people keep changing sizes. Stop growing, all of you players, if you please. Just give me just talk for us for a moment, Michael. No, you're seriously not talking right now.
And Kai, you're muted too.
Yeah, Michael, you're not talking right now. You're silenced. You are giving me heart attacks. Only I'm not allowed to have audio.
Okay, there we go. No, I'm good. I forget. I silence myself when you have your thing on, so that I, you know, don't. Because your tech goblin is insane and likes to put me on while you're doing stuff. So
yeah,
I mute
that does happen. That does happen. I'm just gonna fit people into their boxes right now.
Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, that's can you see me, right? How did the lyrics to that song go?
I don't know.
It was
Google.
It was Lentil. It was from Lentil. It was a Barbara Streisand song.
Yes, it was Papa. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? That's right. It's one of the.
Can you hear me?
That's it. That's it. You see, you know it. I'm just making it a little bit smaller. You have a crazy canine in the background. I think we should see your crazy canine because it's a famous crazy canine. Isn't it?
You hear my dog
Barking like a madman. Sure.
Well, it's just gonna stuck in our crate. Give me 2 seconds. I'll introduce everybody to my puppy. Will you resize everyone?
I think we want to see. I think we want to see the puppy. We want to see the.
Come here, Tingle Winkle.
Show us the puppy.
Do you want to build a snowman?
God.
Well, you can't do nothing but oil. We got flasks and tasks and danger right up your... Can't say that.
Nope. Can't say that. Look at that puppy. Hello,
This is
puppy.
Trinket. She is my dog.
She's your dog.
He's a cute dog.
I know the inside of that dog. It's like, I love you. Who are these people?
Get
Yeah.
ready. Or I guess that's Flint. Yeah.
Oh, your puppy. Oh, your puppy. Oh, your puppy.
Yes, so much love. Okay.
So much energy, too.
Don't worry.
Can't hear anything, though.
You're way ahead of time. So next time you're in the middle of a... I was like, ooh, sorry.
I'm trying.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome
Welcome to the Broken Wheel Chronicles.
Where we look at puppies.
Yeah, where we are now experts of
You think frozen
subterfuge
songs.
during our pre-tech
Yes.
Do you want me to go get my kitty? I can get my kitty.
Yeah, go get your key. I have another dog, but he's a Great Dane, so he's not going to show.
Yeah,
I can't
he
pick
went
up the Great
No.
Dane.
fit so well.
I discipline my animals. Stay out of here.
Weren't you the one who literally had a cat on stream the other day?
Yeah.
No.
No, it definitely wasn't a cat on screen. Right.
I tried to like squish her down so she's like hiding like behind the little Warren portrait. Like she like peek once in a while, be like, "I want you to pet me." I'm like, "Shut up."
Look here, Cheeky. Look here. No, not mommy. Here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right, I'm gonna go put her back in her crate.
Yeah.
This is Flint's unimpressed kitty.
Show and tell.
Hello, sweetie. Hello, sweetie.
The chair's alive.
The chairs.
With the
are-
sounds of music.
Wait, what?
Because like right now, Zoom hasn't done this for a long time, but it's like switching back and forth between the different. Oh wait, I'm forgetting. That's Guy. That's Guy switching
It's
us around.
me
Never mind.
switching you around. Yes.
I'm like massive.
I was just like, whoa.
All right, so there's the kitty. That was the distraction play.
I'm an arm
Yeah, I was sleeping, you bastard.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We're good to go. Finally. Good Lord. I hope this is you guys.
Yeah.
I thank you for your
If
patience.
anybody
all
likes
45.
dogs,
We
Trinket
had
has her own
dogs and
Instagram
cats.
channel now.
Yeah, what's her Instagram channel? Because she has her own Instagram channel, right?
She has,
That's
well,
right.
she does now. Originally it was mine, and she was super cute, and everyone kept saying get her own. So she's Trinket_tail, TALE.
Let me type that.
Because my dog's name is Trinket.
So it's TRINKET
__ TALE.
T-
Trinket tail.
Trinket Tail, and that is on Instagram, right?
Yes. Relax, you're okay.
Instagram. Okay. No, she's,
But
just,
she can hear me.
she's just correcting you, saying that it's the fabulous Trinket on Instagram, not just.
She's just a little stressed out because she can hear me.
Right, but she
So
can't
she's
see you.
trying,
There you go.
but she can't see me. So she's
All
like,
right.
why are you ignoring me?
Okay, so there we go. Trinket at Undertale. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow you quickly on Instagram because
Are you?
I'm no, Instagram is the new
Yeah.
thing. We've just reached 1,000 followers on Instagram for How to Be a Great GM. By the way.
Hey!
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's amazing.
Thanks, everybody.
It's really cool. So I'm really.
Wait a minute. Why don't you follow my Twitter, Guy? Huh?
I do follow your Twitter, I think.
You have a Twitter? No.
Liar.
That's okay. I just get to
I'm
watch
on
you
your
tweet all day, so I'm like, yeah.
No, I do follow your Twitter. I'm sure I follow your Twitter.
Do you? I'm actually gonna double check that.
I don't know.
We
We have 4,700 followers on Twitter. It's amazing.
Oh, that's
anyway.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, so you can send us an invite. Right, okay, that people did not come here to watch us talk about technical issues and cats and dogs. They came
sure?
here to. No, I don't know really why some people are here. I just love
I
having
think
everyone
Flint
here.
should. I think Flint should get a dog.
I'm not
You
following
doing
you.
follow?
What's your thing? What's your thing? Quickly, because otherwise people are going to condemn me.
No, here I'll put it right. I'll write in the chat.
Yeah,
for
put it in the
everybody.
chat. That's easier. That's easier. That's easier.
There you go. That's it.
I really have to get better at the social media stuff.
Okay, hang on. I need to turn on my gain so no one can hear.
I fluff it up all the time. No worries.
Okay, right. So cast
Let's
your
do it.
minds back, you three salty sea dogs, dusty cow people, cowfolk, cowlings, cowboys. Because,
I find that calling us
Yeah.
dusty dirt people is pretty offensive. Just saying that's our word.
Just saying, it's your word. Okay, yeah. If you throw your minds
Giant
back,
boys.
you will remember that you were at Fort Lost with the crazy Colonel Bardock, and what little remains of Fort Lost, I should say. There was that trench where you were attacked very briefly by some goons who you dispatched quite quickly. What are you doing? That's right. Right. Colonel Bardock shouts, "We got lizards! Everyone find a hole and start shooting!" Is the call. What? That's impossible. Wait, talk, Michael?
Oh, what? Hello, hello. I'm right here. People should be.
Wait, no, I'm starting to hear him now.
Yeah. Am I just really quiet? Is that it? Do I just need to shout
let's
at
go with that. Let's go with that. You were totally quiet and not muted on my channel at all. Totally.
I can tell who Guy loves in this. You know, it's like, yeah. All right. So for those people who I was too quiet for, I have picked up a couple of rifles from two lizard folk who now have very nice dime-sized holes in their heads. I have gathered some ammunition to give to my two companions, and I am running for my life from a large group of lizard folk who have appeared on the horizon. Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. Why not?
Okay, I don't know how to use this.
It's pretty easy. You just sort of point this end at the person you want to lay in the ground, and then you pull this here trigger. When it's done, you just take another one of these here metal bits, throw them in, and then pack it in with some of this, and there. Easy.
Okay.
Okay, and how many are in front of us, by the way? Like, how far away are they?
They are on the ridgeline, which does not show itself on this map, but they are up here to the north.
I actually do need that map, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah, you
guys.
haven't shared the map.
Sure thing, and sharing now with you. So where this arrow is, they are up there, up to the north. It's not really an arrow anymore.
Okay.
It's a
Oh, I'm seeing it now. It's kind of like
it's a thing. Yeah.
Okay, but Flint, like, okay, where do we need to go? Because we got to go find that gnome guy and talk him out of his crazy shenanigans.
I made a survival
We got to go
check.
through them.
I made a survival check on the place that the colonel told us about.
That's right.
What direction from Fort Lost would we need
Direct west.
Direct west.
Yeah, so from here you got to go west, which is parallel to where the lizard folk are. As you're busy talking about this thing, you can see Colonel Bardock has stacked up at least 3 rifles next to himself. He's got a handful of ammunition, and he's kind of positioned himself in the corner, getting ready to fire. The lizard folk just pour down the hill en masse. You can see some of them are riding these particularly large lizards. Others are just running on foot. Most of them are wielding fairly... To you two, to Warren and to Floria, it looks like they're wielding fairly sophisticated metal axes, spears that have got well-made steel tips. You can see they've got bits of metal armor on and the like. You can also see that they have definitely suffered from radiation on a massive scale. Their scales, no pun intended, have this slight green glow to them. And some of them have got 2 tails, some of them have got 6 legs. There's one that you can see has definitely got 2 different heads. They've got war paint on them. One is painted red, one is painted blue. This is over their glowing green scales and things. And they are just pouring down the ridgeline. Colonel Bardock shouts, they might not be too happy about the fact that we may or may not have abandoned their people during our relocation back to the main city. So if they get anywhere near, they're just going to try and scalp you, take your head for a trophy. It's nothing personal or anything like that. They usually attack for a while. If we knock down like 4 or 5 of them, they should retreat. Usually that's how they operate. Yeah.
So you say they get scared easily?
Yeah, that's right.
Are they within 60 feet, guy?
They're about to be. It's just this wave. There are about 100 of them that are just pouring down the hill, charging towards the camp.
Okay, well we gotta go that way. I think my brain works for once, and I have an idea. And I summoned my warhammer. Pretty much like, okay. I'm gonna like once within 60 feet.
Warren, push the button.
Oh.
And none of us can hear you speak.
Yeah, there's like an epic speech. You're just like,
just sitting there like,
hello? Yeah. I have an idea. We have to go in that direction. I'm going to scare them away. Or we're going to push through.
Okay. I thought we had to go parallel to them, so that's opposite.
What?
Yeah, we gotta go along that way. They're coming from that way.
Oh.
So we're going parallel. Flint.
Yeah.
The mechanics of your weapon, it explodes, right? What causes the explosion, and do we have enough of that if we set it off at a faraway distance? Would it go off?
At this point, I'll throw Floria a one of my bullets, and I'll basically say, one of those things, if it goes off, it's like a firecracker, or I don't know, it just pops a little. Right.
Yeah, so do you have a barrel of these that I can, like, you shoot at it and it explodes at a far distance?
Flint thinks for a moment, and he sort of reaches in, and he pulls out one of the goblin bullets. All right, I got a fistful of these that we got from those goblins. I haven't fired any of them just yet, but I don't know how much firepower these have. Maybe that's the best I got.
I'll take one and load it into my gun the way he showed me.
Oh,
fire,
all right.
aim, and fire.
I'm going to go into initiative here, and so initiative is Flint. You're up first, according to Fantasy Grounds.
Okay. As they come over the ridge, is there a particularly large or imposing looking lizard folk?
Oh yeah. You can see that there's 3. They look like war chiefs. They have these long spikes that stick out of their headdresses that make them very prominent. One of them is riding one of these large, it almost looks like a Komodo dragon of sorts. The other 2 are riding these birds. They kind of look like an emu on steroids, or a cassowary, actually. Cassowary is much prettier than an emu. So, yeah, cassowary is much bigger, much more terrifying, and predatory.
Yeah, especially for us in Australia. All right. So, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for the one on the cassowary.
All right. This lizard folk token up here at the top of your map indicates the line of lizard folk as they are approaching. So they've come thundering forward. They're now at this distance, which is oops, let me not move the whole map. That would be silly. This distance here, which is what, 40 feet or so.
Okay. So I'm going to take 2 shots at the cassowary riding chieftain, if I can.
Sure thing. Let me just bring up the cassowary riding chieftain here. Yeah, you can go for it.
Oh, is that him?
Make your attack. Yeah.
All right. Kia.
Nice.
Kia.
Kia, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but yes, absolutely. You Kia the lizard folk. I'm going to add them to this table here. What was your damage?
4 points of damage.
4 points damage. Okay, there is the lizard king or queen. It's a Schrodinger's lizard, and that's for 4 points damage. All right.
Okay. The second shot I want to make. I want to use my. Oh no, I can't because I've used my action surge. So I'm going to reload as a free action, and as part of my move action, I'm going to sort of duck down behind cover, try and avoid getting shot at.
Sure, there's that flimsy metal wall, which, as you duck down against it, the whole thing kind of wobbles, and you realize that the wooden posts that have been buried into the mud have mostly been eaten away by termites. So it's really just the iron resting up against the wooden pole more than anything else. So, yes, that is...
I ain't come back here to die, damn it.
The lizard folk come thundering forward. They've got to get over that one little barricade, so it's going to slow them down as a horde. They now get to this point. Then none of them have firearms, so they do, however, have a ranged attack, which they are going to make. They're making a javelin attack. Now, they have disadvantage on this attack against you. We know where Eric, if any of you know who Eric is in Discord, he's currently logging in and out of Origin to play Battlefield 5. If you see the little message popping up on my screen every now and again, I apologize for that. Note to self, log out from all of those things. Anyway, the javelins are thrown. It's a wonderful stream today. I'm so happy. The javelin is thrown at each of you. It has disadvantage. The first javelin attack for Colonel Bardock misses completely. The next attack for...
Are we not behind like this? Is that a wall or a
yes,
shack?
you are. You are behind. That's why I'm giving you.
It is why they have disadvantage, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
For Flint is a complete miss, and I can't double disadvantage. So for Floria is a miss completely, and the last one.
This is gonna hit.
For Warren, what? Two natural 20s, right? For Warren, no, look at that, even worse. The javelins and things sort of pierce into the metal wall. Some of them just bounce straight off. It really is completely an ineffective attack for Loria.
Okay, so I'm gonna fire. Look at the chieftain, try to aim for him and fire.
The one on the casserie or one of the lizards?
The lizard queen / king.
There you go. Make your attack.
All right. So I can't do it with my natural bow because I'm using one on like an improvised weapon or a weapon I'm not have skill with, right?
You don't add your proficiency, so it's just your dexterity modifier that you add.
Okay. Yarg. Hello. I like this new weapon.
Okay.
You're
now
damage on these guys.
All right. So before we get there, there's some rolls you're gonna have to do for me. Firstly, give me a percentile roll.
Uh-oh.
You're using
how do I do that?
Lizard man. So you right click on the D10 at the bottom of your screen.
Okay. So I have 2 dice.
Did that not, when you right clicked on it, did it not bring up the percentage wheel?
No.
If you just right click on the D10. So you don't left click on it, you just right click on it. Just hover over it. And
it just kicked me right out of fantasy ground.
Well, that's a thing. So I'm going to roll it for you because that's impartial.
Do that for me. I'm going to log back in.
79. Great. The bullet does not explode in the gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Yay. Goblin bullet inside a lizard man repurposed rifle. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, whilst you're busy logging back in again, I'm going to make a strength saving throw for you.
Error code updating Fantasy Ground demo app running. What?
Oh, did you not upgrade your Fantasy Grounds? Well,
I guess not.
Let's have a look. I'm going to make a strength save for you. You rolled a natural 20. Well done.
I'm amazing with die rolls for me.
Yeah. So you got a natural 20, and that means that you, although there is this tremendous kick, I mean, it's like hitting someone with a sword and being hit by the sword at the same time. It's not supposed to do that. But having never fired a rifle before, it really just kicks backwards, but you hold your ground. You do not get thrown backwards. Now, this bullet sails forward with tremendous velocity and just slams... Uh-oh. My fantasy.
How much damage does it do? It's a goblin bullet too.
Yeah, so it just slams forward with velocity into this poor old lizard king or queen. Fantasy Grounds has no idea why I'm rolling dice, so it's not adding it for me, but let's do it this way.
Here we go. I'm
does a massive 21 damage to the lizard queen king, the king of queens, or the queen of kings. 21 damage. That's 25 damage. There is also this terrific explosion And the Lizard King is next up. They are not. They're immune to being frightened, which is quite curious. Their followers are not. So when it comes to the follower, they're going to make a saving throw to see if they remain or if they run. Now, this particular Cassary riding Lizard King rides forward and hurls this harpoon at Colonel Bardock.
Are you able to reshare the map with me, please?
Hits General Bardock quite badly, and then does some damage to poor old Bardock. 10 points of damage to Bardock. He kind of cries out in pain as he has this harpoon impaled in himself. It gets pulled out. Because the lizard folk is on a Cassary, he can reach over the barrier and attack the general, for those of you that are wondering. So he's going to attack the general again and miss. Warren, you are up. Are you holy symboling? Are you rifling? What are you doing?
I toss the gun down, going, this just isn't me. As I lift up my warhammer and go, no fear, baby! And out of the maw of this warhammer, you see this there's this little pinpoint of light as it goes pew, and I'm gonna cast a flaming sphere right in the space of the Lizard King. The Lizard King has to make. It's gotta make a good old saving throw of dexterity of 14, please.
A dex of 14. He passes with a dex of 19.
Okay, so he's gonna take half damage then.
Sure.
From this Smexy 2d6 of fire damage. It didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? I'm asking you to do this.
Do
all right.
Just roll.
One more time.
No?
Nope. All right, that's on.
Just
so
roll.
it won't let me... Yeah, I'll just have to do it on the board.
Yeah.
No, okay, fine. That's 1. So that was 5, and here's the other one. Hey, not bad, though. So
okay.
9.
So he takes 5 points of damage. 4 points of damage, 29.
Yep,
Yep.
and it's going to be in his space.
Yes.
And let's see.
It's a 5-foot radius, right?
10, yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
So sort of between.
And that was my action do. I think the furthest I can go. So hang on. I'm trying to. So basically, I'm trying to get here, but I know I can't get quite there.
Yes.
Because I was right here. So it's 5, 10. Wait, I got this. 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, I can.
You can make it all the way out there? All right. It's not difficult to get over the corrugated wall from this side.
Yeah, I had to go like one diagonal space to get there. And with the flaming sphere on the other side, I lift up my hammer just... You're going down!
All right. So
no fear!
Flaming sphere is over here. I like that.
I'm just like, ah! Just like really yelling at him.
I'm going to ask, there's a group called the Fantasy Ground College, which certainly helps people. I'm going to ask them how to change the color of this pen, because it would be nice to have a different color. Okay, that's
Warren,
fantastic.
were you pushing down on your button, or have you been yelling alone in your helmet?
He's been yelling alone
in his helmet.
No fear! Ah!
So there's just a lot of quiet dead space. I was just going right into it.
Lovely. Lovely.
Actually, it looks kind of cool because it's like a silent war going in.
The poor old Colonel Bardock is up. He's gonna fire at this lizard king. He misses completely. He starts reloading, cursing as he does so. Flint.
Flint turns to Feloria and says, "Seems like you're a natural. What the hell is that damn fool Warren doing? Warren, get back behind the barricade!" And I'll shoot the one in front of Warren.
Sure.
I'm going to use a superiority dice to give me a D8 boost on it, and I'm going to take it with my maneuvering tactic in order to give Warren a immediate move action to get back behind cover.
I suspect that may not be taken. All right, make your attacks and things.
If anything, I'll move right there. A better position to get him.
That's a hit.
Okay. Now with with my superiority dice, is that just on my attack, or do I get that for my damage as well?
Oh wait, actually, question: Does your superior dice make me spend a reaction if I do it?
I don't know if it
No,
forces.
it just gives you an action.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just want to double check because I want to save that reaction in case.
Let's see. So superiority dice. Just checking real quick. I get 3 maneuvers of my choice. Blah 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 blah. Oh yes. Oh, so it's in the individual. So when you hit a creature on one of your comrades, never added to the attack and damage roll. Okay, cool. So, damage from the gun is 5, and then I don't know if it'll do this, but 7 point. Oh wait, no, hang on, let me roll that properly. There you go. Ah, no, come on, roll it. There we go. 5 extra damage from the superiority dice.
Fantastic. So your total is 10 in total.
Yep.
All right. The creature howls out in pain as it starts to bleed quite heavily. We get to the lizard folk. The lizard folk have to make a saving throw or be terrified. And so there is their save. That loud bang plus the flame and the fire does not seem to have dissuaded them just yet. They can see that their leader is locked in mortal combat with one of the individuals who abandoned them, so they are not going anywhere. They are now going to start to move. They're now surrounding the structure. They're now starting to circle it very, very slowly. So I'm actually going to move them to this side so that you get a sense that they're on both sides of the camp as they're kind of circling around. Yes.
This is the Alamo.
It is very much the Alamo. Feloria, you're up.
All right. So I am going to make my way over this way to get behind this little sheet of paper from the oncoming hordes. I'm going to fire at the lizard king / queen. I only had one of those goblin bullets, right? So right now I think I only have the normal bullet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reload and aim and fire at him again.
Make your attack.
Nope. Oh no.
Nope. It's just a bang, and that's it. The the lizard king queen now makes an attack against you with its trident, Warren, and misses its first attack.
Ooh.
I follow my faith,
he says silently, and completely misses his second attack. Okay, this is gonna be one of those rounds. I can see that happening. He's gonna move. He's gonna move there.
So he's moving out of the fire thing.
Yeah.
He's still within 5 feet.
Okay, he did not realize that he needed to go beyond that, and if he did, it would have provoked an attack. So he's not going to go beyond 5 feet. So he will take damage at the end of the round, correct?
Yep, from the flaming sphere.
How much damage does he take?
It'll be 2d6, but if it makes a save, he'll take half.
All right,
so he gets
a save every time. Sure.
Yep, every time. Ah, that's cool.
And that's better because he failed his saving throw. So your total damage was 3. Wow. 47 damage. All right, he is moaning, groaning, and seriously reconsidering life at the moment. Warren?
So as a bonus action, I'm going to move that sphere right into his face.
Yeah, I thought you might do that. I'm ready with the eraser. All right. I should actually make flaming sphere tokens. I should do that. There probably are tokens, actually.
So, damn it.
For another 3? Oh, he has to make another save?
Yeah, he has to make another save, take half or not.
Okay. And there's his save, so he takes 1.
Nice.
Okay. Shipping him down.
I'm gonna
Candle flame at a time.
Yeah, and I'm going to walk right up into him and just...
Sure.
Just...
Man.
Yeah, just... Hang on, to be like... And then Warren just... Oh, yeah. You hurt my friend! And I'm gonna hit him with my Warhammer, which got to add a modifier of +1.
Nice.
There we go. As like almost like the eyes of that golden dragon that like, because I forgot to describe like, so the actual like mouth of this dragon like actually has like the hammer right between the teeth and all that, and like the body like swells, and the back of that Warhammer, that little that hook that would actually that warriors would use to drag people down is basically huge wings, golden wings that come and then coming down with the tail and all that. That's enough cinematic description. Time for action.
Love it.
So I hit him in the face.
Try to hit him in the face.
Here we go. Bam.
You hit him in the face.
Yes, and then let me add the now an additional +3 to damage. Since I'm doing dueling. And this is my booming blade.
So watch out for this damage.
Oh, I feel sorry for this here lizard folk.
Yeah, so and then with the flaming sphere if it wants to move. So let me see. Oh, and it's 2d8, I forgot. Because they're level 5 now, so
that's it.
Bam. That's a 3. And then one more before the modifier, so this one doesn't add to it.
So
Did I get both those?
Sorry?
Yeah, so then so perfect. Then 5 + 6, so 11.
11 points of damage. Fantastic. That
Yep. And if he moves, it take 2d8 extra thunder damage.
yeah.
So that's why the flaming sphere is right there threatening him. Just
lovely, lovely. Bardock sees that you've got that situation under control. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so we can see what's going on. And these, like I said, these lizard folk are circling all around. I need more map. So he rushes over here to try and hold the gap, and is immediately engaged by the lizard folk that are circling around. So he's going to fire at the lizard folk in absolute desperation. Misses completely. Actually, he can't fire. Sorry, it doesn't matter because he was busy moving and reloading. Flint?
All right. Seeing that Warren is engaged with the queen or king, how does it actually look?
Well, the lizard folk are circling around, so just this massive horde busy moving around the structure. You get a sense that this is more of a display of intimidation and power than an actual attack, because if they wanted to rip down the walls of the fortress, they could do that easily. And they would overwhelm this place in a heartbeat. There is no doubt about that.
So it almost looks like they're taking some care that they don't really need to if they wanted to wipe us out.
Yes. Again, this definitely looks like it's bizarre. They're dying, but they're not tearing down the walls.
I imagine it's common knowledge, but do lizard folks have eggs?
They do.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's like a like Colonel Bardock has like maybe a parcel or a package or something tucked away with like supplies and the like nearby.
Give me a perception check.
Perception check. Whoa! That is a 16.
You notice stacked under that sort of piece of metal roof just to the northeast of you. It looks like a bit of a pantry. There's some shelving with bottles of whiskey and dried meat in boxes and things. There is also a fairly large crate filled with straw, and that seems to be brimming with fairly large eggs. Now, you don't recall seeing any chickens anywhere nearby.
I immediately move over to it and clear the straw to have a better look.
There are probably 30, maybe 40 eggs here.
Oh, I sort of turn like really angrily towards Captain Bardock as I'll then pick up the crate.
Sure.
And I'll sort of stand up and say, "Stand down or I drop these!"
As soon as you do that, the lizard folk all immediately stop. And there's just the sound of... So that's the lizard folk there. There's just the sound of the battle going on between the lizard king-queen and no sound from Warren, but a battle nonetheless. Valoria, what are you doing? It's weird. All the lizard folk have stopped and are just watching, holding their weapons. They're looking at you. They're looking at the eggs. They're looking back at you.
So I'm behind this barricade, so I don't know what he's holding.
Oh, no.
So
the walls are not high enough to obscure that. You can see Flint holding this crate. You're not sure what's in it.
I'm going to hold my action with my gun trained on the king and queen. If they make another attack towards Warren, I'm going to fire.
Gotcha. The Lizard King Queen looks at Warren, but sees the eggs. The moment they see the eggs, they hold their trident up in the air in a non-aggressive way. They're holding it so that the trident goes across their head, and seem to stand down. They are aware of the fire, but they seem to be prepared to stand in that fire if it gets them what they want. So I'm going to auto-fail that dex save. Roll your damage.
Okay. I mean, Warren's like, oh no. Me, I'm like, yeah.
Like, burn, lizard, burn. We got gator steaks
Oh, it didn't
tonight.
count that? Oh, I rolled double sixes. Oh, well, that's fine.
You're going to roll in
No,
the
I
box.
didn't count it. That's fine. It's fine.
8.
What?
8 damage?
Why is it plus 3?
Because you added in plus 3.
It should not
it'd
be
just
plus
be
3.
5. Okay.
It's just 5.
Yeah, it should be 5.
All right. It's badly burnt, but it's not moving. Warren, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just kind of like I'm very confused because I think I'm actually just out of Flint's range, so I'm just kind of like, why are you moving?
It's just
What do you mean?
standing there with its.
But we would have heard Flint over the intercoms, right?
Yeah.
No, I think I'm too far away.
No, it's 30 foot, so you've got like 10, 20, you're 25 foot away.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I'm right
you're,
there.
You're plenty within range.
So I'm kind of like, what?
This fire.
He doesn't quite get it. He's kind of like, what's going on? Like, I'll hold my action to do another booming blade if the Lizard King's being a meanie, if he tries to attack me.
The colonel looks over at you, Warren, at you, Flint. What are you doing? Those are tradable goods. They're worth a fortune. How do you think we keep this place running? They don't need them. There's plenty of lizard folk around. Put that damn thing back. You're going to drive them crazy if they see that.
You already driven them crazy, you damn idiot. Is really a few scrap in your pocket worth you dying?
We ain't gonna die. We got them right where we want them.
I'm just kind of. I feel like, okay, when we got here, I feel like this guy was a few coins short of the register. So I'm definitely not talking to or engaging with this complete lunatic who talks to. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He reloads his rifle and fires once at the lizard folk and hits the lizard folk.
Oh.
Again, Fantasy Grounds thinks I'm mad because I did it that way. Hits the lizard folk for 12 points of damage, which knocks one of them down, but another one immediately takes their place. They all start hissing. There's this low-level hiss, which each of them starts to utter. Flint, what are you doing with that crate?
I'm going to attempt to. Well, basically, I'm going to put it down at my feet, and I'm going to shoot Colonel Bardock in the back.
Oh, shit.
I'm also going to use my superiority dice on this one, and I'm going to attempt to use a tripping maneuver as well.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So,
man.
That's a hit.
all right.
Woo!
And
Breaking all the rules today. Oh.
Plus an extra 7 damage.
Oh my god!
Oh, man.
22 damage to Bardock. There we go. Thank you for that donation. But yes, absolutely. 20.
And he's
Bardock
also going to make a
finishes.
strength check to stay upright, I believe.
Flint, no! Flint, yes!
He drops to the ground. Oh, God! As he lands on his knees. The lizard folk hissing stops instantly.
I'll sort of turn to the king queen at this point, and I'll say, "There's many things that's acceptable for people to do in order to survive out here, but taking young'uns just don't sit right."
Are those its babies?
Youngins.
Yes, Warren. I look to the king queen and I say, "Me and those two, we ain't got nothing against you. You take your kin. You take your kin, and you leave us be. This man's punishment is for yours to decide."
You're handing me over to the lizards?
Be thankful I ain't putting you in the ground.
You're a traitor, that's what you are. You're like all the rest of the goddamn machines. You've just all gone mad. He looks over at you, Floria. We're out of initiative. You're not gonna let some tin can tell you how to operate. We're flesh and blood. We take priority, surely.
I don't believe in that, and I don't believe taking younglings.
They're not born yet. They're just eggs.
You don't know what phase they are in. Can you tell how far along those eggs are? They could be ready to hatch today.
They're not going to get eaten either. They're going to get hatched and put to labor.
Slavery? So I'm going to like march right up to him and just slap him.
Several of the lizard folk do this funny sort of...
I'm like, yeah. I walk up behind her. I'm like, Floria, move. As I bring that flame closer to him.
Well, finally, you will certainly understand, boy. He sort of kicks and
just
backs.
right above him.
Right? He screams out, "All right, fine. Let them take the goddamn eggs. But I don't need to go with them, surely. I demand justice to be meted out by my own people."
Your justice is going to be dished out by the ones you have wronged.
The lizard queen has ridden over with the cassowary and looks at the sort of collection. "We are grateful for the return of our eggs, as well as for this evildoer."
I'm sorry about your face.
I'm sorry, we didn't know what the battle was when it started. I apologize for taking aim at you.
It was obvious the moment you returned the eggs that you were unfamiliar with this situation.
We need to get up to, and I give the description of that place that the gnomes are. I know this is your territory, and I wouldn't want to pass through anything unwanted. Will you allow us, despite this fool's errand, to get to where we need to go, after which we'll leave you and your lands?
The lizard folk have skulked in to try and take the crate from you. Do you let them take it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll dispel that fire. It's gone now. It's been a minute. Just
and they also take Bardock as well, sort of kicking and screaming back. The lizard folk dismounts, sort of rubbing the burnt scales. "Whilst you are certainly formidable adversaries, the gnomish establishment of Macready is heavily defended.
I do believe they're expecting us.
They are expecting you?
Potentially.
Then
They're up to mischief, and, well, anything you could tell us about those defenses would be, well, mighty helpful.
Or maybe you can also escort us there. You don't have to come with us, but it'd be nice. Also, sorry about the face. I'm really sorry about the face. Sorry.
Thankfully, Warren still hasn't pushed his little...
You know what? Let's just assume I'm doing this, all right?
No, every single time. Every single time.
Every time.
Maybe escort us too, please. I'm so sorry about the face, but please, anything you can do to help?
we can send scouts with you. They know the territories better than you. There is a ridge above the Macready Ranch, which may provide you with more insight. We avoid the territory. It is heavily polluted and not an area of interest to us.
I would click the button and be like, any help you can give us would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
It shall be done for the return of our eggs.
I hope none of them are harmed.
It is their fate if it should be. What will become the fate of this outpost, do you suspect?
Well, I suspect that by now this damn idiot hasn't told anyone about it, or the fact that he's lost his entire platoon. At this point, if no one's been sent to relieve them, they believe this outpost is, well, lost.
That is most satisfactory. We have learned to adapt to live in our new lands. The invasion of others is unwanted. When you are ready to depart, these two scouts and the lizard folk sort of looks over and looks at two young lizard individuals. They look like they're quite young. Their scales seem quite fresh, quite bright. They kind of look quite plucky. They've got these big lizard-like eyes. And you think they're smiling, but in the same way that velociraptors smile. They can't help it. It's just how their jaw happens to hinge upwards. So they kind of give you these very toothy, cold grins. These two will assist you. Ix and Ox is how you might refer to them.
Ixnay on the oxnay, huh?
Warren, you need to push the button if you're talking.
I hate this suit.
All right, and with that, the lizard folk depart, leaving you with Ix and Ox, who stand there looking rather nervous. Bardock, you can hear screaming all the way back up the valley as the lizard folk army withdraws into the distance.
Just as they take him off, or just as they are going to take him off, I imagine that they don't want his weapons or bullets. I could use some nice bullets.
Yep, they don't care about his rifles. He has 4 rifles in total, if you the flintlock rifles. They are in much better condition than the lizard folk rifles that you...
Probably better than mine as well, then, if they're doing 2d10.
Can we rest for a little bit? Because I think some of us are kind of hurt, and it could be a good idea. And meta-wise, Flory took a lot of damage, and I also took some damage, and I need a spell back.
From the sounds of it, we're heading to the ranch, so we could probably rest up there.
Okay.
So,
Which one's Ix and which one's Ox? Like, because I would like to know which one's which when talking to them.
the one that has like this little frill of feathers on the top of his head seems to respond to Ix. And then there's another one that has this necklace of, it looks like crow's feet, responds to the name of Ox. The moment you ask for a rest, Warren, both Ix and Ox nod profusely and then promptly start walking around Fort Lost, lifting their tails and spraying out this rather pungent smelling fluid onto the bits of wall and onto the floor. Nodding, sort of hissing, yes, rest, rest.
Ew.
Well, I mean, smell doesn't really bother me, so we can rest if you really want.
No, what are they doing?
Well, can I make a knowledge check, or
Sure.
do I
Nature
know?
check.
Nature check.
I'm thinking this is like something that he used like common knowledge for Flint because it's his world.
They don't
have
hang
no-
out with many.
Yeah, I don't really hang out with
I don't
these-
know the first thing about his planet and what he does.
No, they play Smash Bros. All the time. They're just like, yo, what up, rest?
I want to point out that this planet's still, same kind of thing. 13.
Nice.
13. Okay, yeah, they're probably marking their territory. Lizard folk camps have a rather horrid reputation for reeking of uric acid. the smell that's generated from the urine, sadly.
Can we smell that in the suit, or are we pretty much
No,
protected?
you can't smell it, thank
Oh,
goodness.
thank God.
Yes, so thank goodness for that. Yes, so there is definitely that.
Can I try a quick deception check to see if I can make them think I'm choking from the pee smell?
Sure, absolutely.
You roll a natural one.
You rolled a natural 1. They kind of stand there watching you.
Is this your normal ritual before sleeping?
Yes.
Yes.
Silence from everyone.
All right, so you're going to take a long rest or a short rest?
I don't think we need a long rest, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, just a quick short rest.
Yeah.
Take a short rest. You can spend hit points or hit dice if you so choose.
Oh, thank
Yes,
God,
please.
I've got my magic back, baby.
It does. Boop. So I got a 5, 6, 7 health. I'm gonna do one more.
Oh, okay, this is the deal.
There we go. I'm better now.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, so much better now.
Woo!
That's
That's exactly what I mean.
End of it, I would go over to Flint. Like, is there channels on this so you can communicate with just one person, or
Some of the more expensive ones do, but
Not this one.
Yeah, not this one.
crazy.
I'm actually surprised this one's still holding up. You got shot through the shoulder, thankfully, before you were wearing it. This thing's not much different to wearing a paper bag.
Oh, then thank God for small mercies, right?
Okay, well, we should get going now, right? Because an hour's passed.
An hour.
Passage of time.
During the course of the hour, Flint is going to just make a note of those 2 objects that the Ironborn back at the hub wanted. If I'm not mistaken, one was a regulator,
Correct.
and I don't remember what the other one was.
An inverter.
Inverter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep my eye out for an inverter and a regulator at the ranch when we get there.
Got you. Without a doubt, not a problem. Okay, so we now have X and we have Ox. The hour passes. What the 2 of you notice, Floria and Warren, is that there doesn't appear to be a sun. There's just sort of this green haze that pervades everywhere. So you're not exactly sure about the passage of time, but Flint is convinced that an hour has passed.
As soon as it ticks over the hour, I sort of put out the, if we have a campfire, I put it out, and I just already start packing without saying a word, like on the hour, at the hour, just.
Yep, you obviously don't.
Is there?
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Is there any paper nearby with like pens or paper or anything?
There is an old diary with a pencil, but I'm afraid nothing more than that.
I'll take those and I'm going to scrawl on the inside of one of the pages and hand it to Flint.
Okay.
I need to talk to you about something privately, just you and I.
I'm going to go see if there's any food or rations. Flora, you want to give me a hand?
Yeah,
There is
sure.
that abandoned tent on the other side of
Do you guys
the
want me to come?
road.
Maybe you should watch Ix and Ox and help them with getting things ready to travel.
Yeah.
Like what?
Ask them. I'm sure they're lovely.
Can they hear me through this?
When you
If
push
you
the button.
I'm just holding it down.
Good.
Sort of try and
We're gonna
wedge a stone in there just to keep it down.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna take it like a string and tie it over it. So
I'm gonna figure this out. I'll see you guys in a second.
okay.
All right.
Stupid buttons.
All right. Flynn will go over to the tent and he'll, again, start looking for food and water and
There
other
is
supplies.
3 very dead bodies in the tent.
How long have they been dead?
Probably about a year or 2. They are literally
God.
desiccated skeletons lying in very tattered old sleeping bags and the like.
Is there signs of the blight sickness, like discoloration on the bones or?
It isn't blight sickness. Give me a medicine check, if you please.
Sure. Medicine checks. because I'm Dr. Bot. Do, 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 do.
He didn't kill them all, did he? Like, go insane and just murder them all?
That is a flat 13.
Two of them have very clear blast holes in their foreheads. And the third one is at the furthest end of the tent from the entrance. Appears to have had their rib cage blown out and the back of their neck blown out as well. Clearly shot from behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I reckon this is the rest of the good colonel's platoon. Looks like he got a bit execute heavy, maybe. And this poor fellow here tried to run.
Should bury them.
Well, putting them in the ground ain't a good idea. Sometimes that you put something in the ground, it just come back up.
Okay, do we let the people know in the gnomish chats about these people so they can bury or take care of their dead?
This is how we take care of our dead here. It's it ain't pretty, but it gives something for the vultures to eat.
That's so tragic. That's really disturbing.
I'm
going to leave the tent.
I'll start rifling through their pockets, and I'll sort of keep my voice down as I say, so you wanted to talk about something?
Am I out of range of Warren?
10, 20, 30. Yep, we're just out of range.
Okay. So I'm just like, so I found out something that's not good about his family. And it doesn't look like it ever works out well for Warren if he finds out.
What do you mean? I thought he was raised by dragons.
So think of it as a surrogate. So he was born with a normal family, and then when they disappeared, a dragon took over and took care of him. Much like how if you find like a cat and you take care of the cat, it still has a cat mother, but you now have a cat that you raise and take care of as your own.
So Warren is the equivalent of some sort of small, helpless mammal. Yeah, yes. I can see that. Okay, carry on. That checks out.
Yeah, okay. So I found out from the archives that they're alive, but they're in danger. Apparently, anytime any Flory has told Warren this, he rushes off to his death.
Yep, that checks out.
I feel like he has the right to know what happened to them, but at the same time, if I know all Flories would have warned him and told him to wait for certain times. Apparently, the Clack Door hibernate, but he's never listened. It means ultimately they fail in convincing him.
Flint takes this in for a moment, and he remembers the conversation back in the council room with the first shifters. He says, you know, I was kind of worried about that myself. You see, those shifters, the first ones we met, they didn't seem to pay too much mind to yourself or me, almost as if they knew we were going to help no matter what. When it came to Warren, there was a little bit of, I suppose, hesitation that I sensed from them. They mentioned not only that the Warrens were all the same, but that quite a few of us had ended up on the Clack Door side. Now, I don't know about you, but I ain't built that way that some sort of insect kind of bug creature can get into my head and make me do what I don't wanna. But, you know, over the time that I've spent with you folk, you know, if it were protecting you, I might do some slightly illogical things, but don't read into that.
Mm-hmm.
The point here is that if we tell Warren, death might be the nicest thing that ends up happening to the one that we know. What do you propose? I mean, we can't also let his family go without aid. You can't let Warren stew here knowing full well that he is a stone throw away, if you pardon the pun.
No, not at all. I kind of have a plan, but I'm going to need you for it.
Well, you'll always have my help, but for now, I think maybe we keep this to ourselves and we keep our eyes on the task. Once we're in the hub, I think maybe that'd be a good place to have a sit down, maybe even talk to some of the others.
Yes, I agree. Let's just keep this from all Warrens, including the older one we ran into, because then if he'll run off to his death as well, I'm assuming. But we should have a sit down, you and I, and talk about what to do next.
Flint nods and yells out, "Warren, we almost." Oh wait, actually, I'll take a little step back, and say, "Warren, we almost ready."
This stupid button! I can't fit this rock in there.
Come here. I'm gonna like wander over to him, and I'm gonna take like a little piece of string, like I'll tear a little bit of the cloth off the tarp.
Right.
Of the like that tarp. I'm putting it on the screen. This little tarpy thing here, and then I'm gonna take
like a scarf?
No, the tarp. So I'll tear a bit of the cloth off of it, and then I'm gonna tie it into a knot around it so the button stays stays open.
Right.
Oh my god, that feels so much better.
What do you mean
Finally.
it feels better?
Because I feel so shut out.
No, man.
No, you're definitely shut in. I mean, I'm pretty confident. What?
That's kind of perfect for someone who's been had a very sheltered upbringing.
Is this what you feel like all the time, Flint?
Oh, for God's sake! Have I still not? I've had this
You
conversation.
had this
I've had this
conversation. You know he's the middleman now.
Yeah.
But like maybe he is actually stuck inside this metal body, so we gotta open it up. We gotta get you out.
Can you remove your face?
Not without some tools, and I'd rather not.
The lizard folk are just sort of watching this interplay happening. One of them idly grabs a bit of rag and sort of ties it around its neck as well. The one known as Ox.
All right.
Yeah. High
All right.
five.
All right, folk.
Show of solidarity.
I grab
All
a
right,
bit of
shall
cloth.
we get going?
I grab a bit of cloth.
Actually, folks, is it all right if we took like a quick 2 minutes just to actually have a pee break?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we normally take a break, or sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So
Ready
yes,
to mark the territory.
at
We'll
this
take a break.
point, we're going to take a break. I will stay with you as the rest of the cast disappear. And so there we go. Right. Okay, so let me just cut away there. Okay, right, while I go and do the thing. Yeah. They can't hear you at the moment. I'm going to come back to you now. So let me go there instead. And they should be able to hear you now.
Hi, everyone.
No, I was just saying there's so many people chatting on Twitch and YouTube. Hi, everybody. A lot of names I've never seen before. Welcome.
I can't see those names because I only just jumped into the Twitch. But for those of you who are joining us right now, obviously, we have been instructed by our illustrious and wonderful GM to not look at the Twitch channel before
during the show.
During the show.
No, but I pull it up so I can read it after when I go on the break.
Which is way smarter than what I do, which is I don't have anything open because I live in Australia and I have mice running my internet. And if I have something running at the same time as this, I'll probably drop out. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Hi, Wolven.
That's how I can actually, so I can see questions later during like breaks or at the very end. So I have it running in the background and I just shrink it down to the minimum bar and I just pull it up afterwards. There's like just this giant wall of comments.
We have got a lot of comments. I mean, we've got 45 people watching as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
Holy.
It's,
Hi, everybody.
To have you all here.
Okay, so let's do some questions. Should we do some
are
questions?
there any questions for the team at the moment? How to Train Your Warren 2 coming this summer. I love that. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, I know I shouldn't say this while Freddie's not here because I'm one of these people who like saying things to people's faces, but I am tickled at the fact that every time Warren has said something stupid to say, we've just been able to play the. No, you're not pushing your button. What? Because it's an imaginary game. Obviously, we don't have to do that, but it's just hilarious that we can keep doing it.
Can we say, like, if he goes through like this really wonderful epic speech that he notices at the end of it that the cloth is falling down by his feet and no one heard anything? He's just like, and then I will do these magnificent things.
Yeah, we don't want to be that mean, do we? No,
we don't have to. We don't have to do that.
Can you do it as a joke, like say, and then no one's heard it? No, we're keeping.
Wait, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, so no questions, I don't think, yet coming through. We're halfway through the session. If you watch the pre-game game, where we were talking about what was planned, so far we're on track.
Ooh, Rock Protector, I guess, is coming in for the first time. He's questioned about how Warren was raised by a dragon and what kind of dragon.
That's right. Yeah.
So yes, Freddie told a little bit.
gold dragon in his particular world. The dragons were not evil, but were good, and were. Well, I don't know. I mean, when Freddie brought me his history, he said he was raised by this gold dragon named Delu, who was raising him supposedly to be a paladin of Delu, someone who went out and did good things. But at the same time, there's this weird cult almost of Delu that Warren seems to have subscribed to, and well, one has to question if the motives necessarily of Delu were totally pure or not. I'm not sure. Perhaps that's just me casting my own prejudice against
shade onto it.
Dragons being nice and friendly and kind.
Actually,
and helpful.
that is a good question I've got for you, Guy. What is your deal against dragons? Like, for those of you who don't know, Guy has the world of Braxia, which he has been working on for years and years and years and years. And in his world, the dragons are these evil Gygaxian-scaled demigod, god-like creatures who always end up like good. Like, there's no such thing as a good dragon. I think like Delu is the first one I've ever heard of. They've just wiped everything out anytime they've shown up. Where did this come from? What started this?
Don't make fun of my dragons.
I absolutely love and adore dragons. I think they're really, really cool. But I have always felt that they've been incredibly underpowered. And I've also felt that they should not look at the lesser races as anything other than how we look at a field of sheep, right? You get some bright sheep, you get some dumb sheep, you get, the jock sheep and the supporter sheep and the hippie sheep and that kind of stuff. But they're all just basically sheep. They're fairly mindless, short-lived little things that ultimately should get turned into, chops or some other kind of culinary device. So I've always thought dragons would look at the lesser races as something of unimportance, not to be too worried about. So
is Delu kind of like the hippie that loves like the little sheep?
Yeah, and well, absolutely. And I as happens, I mean, if you look at humans, it's like we hate X, right? We hate snakes, or we hate spiders, or this thing will kill you if you love it, and you'll find humans who love them. So it happens, and I think
so. Warren's like a pet sheep.
That would work perfect with my analogy that he's like a kitten, like a little stray.
Good. There we go.
I love kittens.
I found this on the side of the road. It's mine now.
No, it's mine. I will take it and love it and hug it and love it forever.
And I will call it Bub. Or what do they call it? Call it Jim? Is that what it is?
Well, see, the reason why I did that was because I really, really enjoy the idea of well, I think that's like how like a lot of like my humor comes about, like just doing the opposite thing, like what people would expect. But I like the idea, like if it's like a broken world, it's super cool having, like all these like dragons who are they're always evil. Most dragons, except for like the gold, silver, bronze ones, they're always evil. It'd be kind of cool if every single dragon, like the red ones, the green ones, like they're actually like good. They just have different opinions. Like there's actual politics between these like, these powerful, larger dragons that I almost have kind of like almost like dragon gods, or dragon dads. I approve of this.
It turns out Warren's dragon dads are just a human equivalent of someone being happy about owning a tarantula.
see, I've always been of the subscription that dragons, I love playing the ancient side of them. So whenever I create a world, it's always that dragons are not common, or that everyone thinks the dragons are gone, or everyone thinks they're asleep, or or they've done something to hide away from everyone. There are kind of remnants or memories of them through things like kobolds and drakes and wyverns, but no real true-blooded dragons exist, except when I go, you find an ancient tome and you go underground, no one's been here for 1,000,000 years, that's because there's a dragon here, and he's basically gone, piss off. I like those kind of dragons. That's where
I all of a sudden really want Delu to be like the nerd dragon that everyone picks on and makes fun of, and so now he has all these like little humans that follow and worship him. Like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with you guys, but like you actually meet him with other dragons. He's like, look at little Delu, like little nerd, so tiny little dragon. And he's just like, don't pick on me, guys.
He's super cool. He's so
goes home and cuddles his Warren.
Cuddles his little Warren. Okay, so
Warren, you can do anything you want to be. You can grow up to be a real hero.
So for some unknown reason, The restream chat has decided to stop at 6 minutes past the hour, so I haven't been seeing any of the other questions that have been coming through, and there have been some great questions coming through, so I want to answer some of them very, very quickly. I'm sorry. So I'm going to switch here to Twitch quickly. There was a question here, the very first one. Diablo Bob said, what's your favorite drink whilst playing? Mine, and I'm going to go and get some quickly if you give me permission, is to drink half Coke, half water. I know it sounds like sacrilege, but regular Coca-Cola, half of that, half water. It waters it down, and I can just drink that for days. Probably shouldn't do that. That's me personally. Freddie, what are you quaffing? You've got quite a few things that you're going to go through.
Oh, I know. I'm actually I'm a hydrating nut because of the whole voice acting thing. But for D&D sessions, and I've done this for all the games, either DMing or being a player, I have water.
Water. Water. Is that how they pronounce it in...
So I literally have coffee, water, and beer, and I just chug them all.
You just go for it. Kai, what do you knock back when you're playing? Do you do anything?
So when I do D&D on these type of medias, I'm much like Warren or like Freddie, where I drink a lot of water, I do a lot of singing, I do a lot of theater, so my voice needs to remain healthy. If I'm not, and I'm being a naughty little girl, my favorite thing to drink is actually Dairy Queen's strawberry kiwi slushies.
They sound amazing.
Nice.
They're high of sugar. They have no value for anything, and they're delicious.
That's it.
And I love them. And I should never ever drink them, but I do.
Do you eat a lot of kiwis, Michael?
Do I eat a lot of kiwis? I do eat kiwis. I like kiwis. Kiwis are awesome. But for me, I think my drink of choice. So I also do a lot of voice acting through obviously all my D&D stuff, and I should be drinking a lot more water than I do. Instead, what I do is I have a soda stream at my place with one of these really nice things that are basically invisible. Yeah. And I make a concoction of mango, tonic water, guava, lemon, lime, and a nice helpful sprinkle of grenadine syrup with pomegranate and cherry.
This show is not sponsored by grenadine syrup.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got the whole cocktail thing going on there.
Yeah, just because you have a
It looks cool actually.
Yeah, just because you have a sweet tooth doesn't mean you can't put a little bit of effort into what you drink. So,
right, yeah.
No, I mainly for like shows like this just drink water. It's healthier for you.
There you go. One more minute before we go back to the show. There's some more questions coming through. Wolfie Hologram says, I have a pointed question. What is going on with not being able to roll except by individual dice with several of your attacks during the stream? I suspect that might be the human error coming in there, but I'm not saying.
No, I think it's because every time we try to achieve something, we keep stuffing up unless we're beating the living snot out of something we don't want to beat the living snot out of.
Yeah.
Remember last week when we rolled all threes? We had to make it work.
We're also. I'm going to reach out to Fantasy Grounds College, who I saw in the stream earlier, for some help.
What happened?
I believe that.
What just happened?
I'm sorry. One of my players is here. What are you doing here, Earl?
Nice.
I'm sorry.
Good to be supported by your fellow players.
Hi, Earl. Earl
he's like,
asking to jump. Freddie, jump over your chair.
Yeah, except his he'd be like, hey Freddie, jump over your chair.
Last question, Unquanoir. No, there's this.
It's Unnoir.
Unnoir?
Like film noir?
Yeah, but how does the K become silent if there's an O
It's
after
silent.
it? But it's
It's
anyway,
a silent co.
Whatever your name is, Unco Noir, you can let us know in the chat. Are dragons in this universe significantly intellectually superior to other races? I don't think they're superior, but they do live for an incredibly long time, which I think is going to give them a definite air of superiority. Dragon magic is also far more powerful than regular magic. Dragons are able to summon magic from way back when. So generally when dragons do magic in my world, it's times 10 the damage output or the effect, or the DC is plus 10 to save versus dragon magic. So it can be really powerful. Yes, Michael.
I would absolutely like to validate that, because when I was on the Adventures of the Windswift 4 Guys channel, I made the stupid mistake of connecting telepathically through a creature that was connected with a dragon. And I can tell you one thing, there was nothing I could do. It was like literally, I was the most. I am not kidding. I've played thousands of games, and I want you to understand, I have never felt more helpless in a campaign than when my character was connected to one of the guy's dragons. Like that was it. It was basically like there is this roof, even at level 20, that you would just, it would be insignificant. You would be a goblin to a level 20 character is what a level 20 character is to a dragon in Guy's World.
There you go. There you go. All right, enough of that now. Let's see if Restream. No, Restream has now completely died.
Whoa!
11:06, so I can't rely on that. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I'm going to refresh it. See what happens there. Let's get back to the show. We've got roughly an hour of show left to go as we move into the next phase.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's go for another 3 hours. Let's go for it.
Here we go.
Yes, let's do it.
That's a good
Nothing
stretch.
looks so
Hello and
bad.
welcome back to the show. There we go. Welcome back to
Hello.
the show. I see that. Oops.
We were just having
I'm
a.
falling out of my chair.
We were just
What
having.
we do?
We were just talking about how in the intro Feloria's high kick makes her look super flexible.
Super flexible. Absolutely. That's what.
Yeah, as I fall out of my chair like 2 seconds later.
Exactly.
Okay,
Do
so
it.
you were last seen at the remains of Fort Lost with your two lizard folk guides, Ix and Ox, and you were all prepared to head to the McCready Ranch, or for our American viewers, the McCready Ranch, to go and have a chat to Mr. McCready about what it is that he is doing exactly. Are you doing anything else before you leave Fort Lost?
Yeah, I kind of want to take a torch to it. Mostly because I feel like this outpost might end up being reused or repurposed, and I want to kind of avoid that. So I'm going to gather up some of the bedrolls and stuff, the old ones from before, and I'll set them alight. And then
I can help you with that.
Oh, thank you, Warren. That'd be greatly
Take a
appreciated. Jesus. I ain't fireproof.
I'm sorry.
All right, you start to burn down the camp. It doesn't take long. It's lots of old dried wood and bits of corrugated iron. So like Notre Dame. Oh, too soon. It
Dead
starts
bodies.
to burn to the
Don't
ground.
say that!
We walk away without looking at it, you know, like
banners are
into the
being
Wild
carried
West
far and
sunset,
wide,
or well,
Lord.
horizon of nothing.
A horizon of nothing. Yes.
Everyone looks up to the heavens just too soon.
Just too soon. There we go. There we go. So it's
Best part,
it's
I came up with a
tragic.
song. It goes with the Notre Dame song.
Absolutely tragic. All right, so you start to follow Ix and Ox as they lead you. They start to make their way along the map, and I'm gonna switch over to the map now so you can see what's happening. Let's do that. And as they're moving forward, they get you to that initial trench. They turn and they look to you and they say,
You want the fast way or the slow way?
What's the difference between the two?
The cycle.
Flint,
What
you
does
know
that
that a
mean?
cycle is basically 24 hours. So you suspect one route will take you 2 days, one route will just take you 1 day.
But what's the difference between the two? Like, why would we not want to go against the fast way?
He sort of looks at the three of you.
No. You're not. No.
And then Ix holds up his tail.
No tail.
And
Just, look, you're all looking at me like I know this. What do I know about the no tails?
No, you have no idea why.
Why would that matter? Why would it matter if we don't have a tail?
Ox suddenly jumps up into the air and then lands on his tail, resting on his tail without his feet or his hands in the air. Ix looks at him and then jumps up into one hand, doing a one-handed handstand, and his tail is stretching out quite far behind him, so he kind of gets a bit of a balance. And
I see.
then they kind of jump and flip again into a different pose where they're still on only one foot, but they're using their tail as a counterbalance. It becomes quite obvious that that's what they mean by no tail.
Right.
All right. So if you go there, your tails might drop off.
No.
What?
They
That's
mean
what I
that
got.
what they're saying is that they can use their tails to help balance so they can get, if they make a leap, they can jump onto other limbs, whereas we generally only leap with our feet and land on our feet and can't be as dexterous.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Why don't we
well,
just throw each other?
Yeah.
That sounds like a worse idea, and I'm pretty sure he weighs a few tons.
Yeah. Well, look. What bits of terrain do I know in that direction would cause us to basically have to stop? Like, is it sort of like chasms, canyons?
You could quite possibly be heading into sludge lands. Sludge lands are large pools of irradiated sludge.
2-day trip. Yep. No, 2-day trip. That's what we're gonna be doing. Absolutely, because I ain't getting wet again, and I ain't sinking to the bottom of no giant ass sludge hole. That ain't where I'm gonna be spending the next 100
But
years.
Flint, we gotta be fast.
Nope, we don't.
All of you, whilst you were saying that, in the general westerly direction, there is this ear-splitting crack. And it does sound like someone's just taken a big pane of glass and smashed it in half. And for a moment, it looks as if the sky suddenly does that and misaligns and then realigns again. Kind of reminds you almost of a dimensional fracture.
Okay,
Oh, God,
are you
that ain't
really
good.
sure we can't go fast? Because, like, what if the gnome guy goes, hey, look at me, I'm a gnome, I'm gonna go zaboo!
I'll
Like, he's gonna make things worse.
Is there a way
I'll-
of displacing your weight? I would look at the lizard and be like, is it sludge lands in that direction?
They confer with each other in Draconic. Does anyone speak Draconic?
I do.
They look at
Yeah,
each
we're
other
in!
and they're like, what is this sludge land she refers to?
I think we're talking about like there's like a bunch of swamps or something that Flint's worried that his big dumb body's gonna sink into a bunch of mud and like drown or something. But that's why I suggested we just throw each other. Like, you guys are big, you could throw him across,
You speak
and then
our language?
yeah, I do. Delu taught me.
Do not know who Delu is.
Yeah, L'chaim, let's do this.
Okay.
There's a bit of confusion between the two of them. They sort of look at each other. Yes. They switch to common. We go short way.
So, Flint, what if we displaced your weight? Like, I would go over to the remnants, like this sheet of metal, and
Sure.
pull it flat. So, like, almost like a snowshoe in snow, we can displace his weight over it so it wouldn't sink. He would float. Would that work?
I don't know what that means.
You know what? Sure, I'll give it a go. But
I'm
if
gonna
I fall,
take this.
but if I fall in, you come get me.
Okay.
I grab Warren.
course.
I pull him in close, and I mean that. You come get me. You don't leave me down there.
Yeah, I put like one hand on his shoulder, like, Flint, I will never leave you behind. I've been sent here for a reason, and I have to represent for Delu.
Are you gonna start a church of Dello here with these lizard
Oh,
folk?
that'd be awesome. Because they can speak Draconic. So, because they were telling me how confused they were about like sludge lands, because they were like, "What are sludge lands?" And I told them, "I think they're sludge-y or
I'm
swamp."
gonna take this sheet of metal, like this big sheet of metal, so I can displace weight later. And I'm gonna take that with me.
All right. Well, I mean, the camp was burned, so there's there's metal everywhere. It's not difficult to find a sheet, about 3 foot by 2 foot, easy enough to carry. And slowly you start your journey following this it looks like an old road that was bisected by that trench. As you journey, an hour or so passes, so...
We're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you seem to be. That shattering, cracking sound happens twice more during the hour. And the sky definitely disjoints itself. There's several dark green clouds which have now formed on the horizon, and it is bizarre to watch them suddenly misalign and then sort of pop back and realign as they seem to cross over this broken space.
We need to hurry up.
After a
there's not a
while,
lot of time.
you arrive at the ruins of an old house of some kind. You can see the ruins there, but there's this strange green glow that seems to emanate from the west, and the lizard folk stop and look at you.
Sludge lands. Step where we step, or you...
They look at
Sink.
you,
Well,
Warren.
Sink.
In Draconic, they say,
What is the term for melting?
Oh, okay. Let's see. So, yeah, for that, you just kind of like turn to sludge. We'll turn to sludge.
they switch back to common and look at you, Feloria and Warren.
We'll turn to sludge.
Yep.
Okay.
So, step where they step. We gotta follow them exactly right.
All right.
And you continue forward, and eventually you get to this green glowing area that looks like it's filled with a bubbling liquid that has this glow to it. But every now and again a bubble bursts open and this big gout of flame erupts upwards, releasing this gas as well as this bright light. And what's concerning is that although there are definitely tendrils that is definitely all green goo, every now and again a piece of land which up until now has looked absolutely solid suddenly crackles green and then erupts with a gout of this green stuff and then turns into more sludge. There's a corpse that's lying just at the edge of it, rotting quietly. And what concerns you is that when you look ahead, this green sludge continues for, well, pretty much as far as you can see into the horizon before it just becomes a green glow. At the far end, however, there is this mesa structure, this large mountain, this very strange shaped table-like mountain that's very flat on the top. This mesa rises up and it looks like there might be a structure on top of it, probably about 4 miles away, maybe 5 miles away. It looks like there's a structure on top of it with a light in the window. And the lizard folk point to that.
McCready Ranch there.
Okay.
All right, no point waiting around here. Let's get moving.
do it. Yeah.
Let's
Let's go, team.
I'll secure the metal shoes to my feet, and I'll say, we'll have the lizards go first, then I'll follow. Make sure it's safe. If it can.
No, I was using it as like an actual sheet to put from one land down to another one and pass over.
Oh, like
that.
like a railway, like kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll set that up and start doing that as well to kind of carry my weight over it. I'll say.
I was thinking the worst comes to worst, you can just lie down on it and I'll just pull you across.
Yeah,
I mean,
you hope
like
that
a
the metal will
bobsled.
survive.
Flynn will say, if it can take my weight, then it can take yours. My biggest worry is that if we step on any particular place, the pocket might be thin at the top, and we may end up sinking into the mess. So I'd much rather I go first because I'm relatively resistant to the effects of this sludge.
Question.
I say relatively.
The clack clack door doesn't like fumes. Do you think they would be adverse to this stuff? Especially with the fumes that are coming up from it.
Well, we can ask the next one we see.
I'll just go take care of it at McCree's Ranch.
All right. So the lizard folk are going first?
Yeah. And then Flint will... He won't try to be heavy, but he is heavy. So
He'll just walk.
yeah.
Flint, and then Floria, and then Warren at the back?
I'll go back. I'll go last, because I'm most acrobatic, so if something goes wrong, I can probably help over next.
Oh, okay.
Sure thing. All right, so there's your marching order. That's how you're going. Ox in the front, then Ix, then Flint, then Warren, then Flora. Now, as they start to progress forward, you see the lizard folk very carefully sort of stepping and then hopping. And they do very much use their tails every now and again to act as almost like a third limb, or a fifth limb, really, because they just jump around all over the place. They try to make it easy for you, leading you through this. But what we are now doing is we're now going to go into a skill challenge. I love skill challenges. Oh, no. So that means that between the three of you, you need to get 3 successes before you suffer 3 failures in order to make it through the swamp of sludgy, doomy, melty death.
Let's do it.
Only one of you can roll a skill, and once you have done so, you cannot do so again until everybody else has contributed to the skill challenge. So that's how it works, and let's have a look. So the very first skill that you need in order to navigate through a swampy, sludgy skill space, one of you needs to please give me an acrobatics check.
I have a +6. What do you guys have?
Floria seems the most acrobatic. Maybe she should do it.
You should let me do it. +1.
Yeah.
Let me just do it, baby.
All right, give me an acrobatics check as you try to navigate through the first stages of this swamp.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That
I love
is
that
a
term.
success. That is a success.
Pew, pew, pew.
Fantastic. All right. I don't seem to have a pen in front of me for whatever reason. I don't know how I'm going to be taking notes today, but anyway.
I'm pretty sure everyone's going to keep notes.
If you in the chat can keep track of the successes versus the failures, that'd be great. All right. So that's 1 success. Now, as you continue deeper into this sludge pit, you start to realize that perhaps not all is what it seems, as the ground sometimes just mysteriously caves in and starts turning into this green sludge. It's as if there's a river that is flowing underneath this entire area. There is the requirement of an investigation check, if you please, to check the ground before you move over it. This can only be made by either Flint or Warren.
-1. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Actually, Warren, give me a sec. Let me have a look at it instead.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. I can't see nothing. The smoke, it's fogging up my lenses.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. That's 1 failure. That is 1 failure. Flint places his massive foot with this large piece of iron on it onto a surface and steps forward. For a moment, it's fine. The next minute, the entire foot plus the corrugated sheet disappears into this green sludge. There's a venting of fumes and green plasma. You pull your foot free. The corrugated iron board, however, has dissolved. It has literally just dissolved. It was cheap wrought iron to begin with. So there we go. And yes, that is what has happened there. That means 1 failure, 1 success.
What's the state of my foot? Is my nice brand new sheen gone?
Oh yes. It got burnt off straight away. You are back down to just the iron and steel. At this point, I'll kind of very cautiously dip my other foot into it just to look like I'm wearing a pair of cowboy boots. All right. I like that. So, Warren, as you are very carefully making your way through this swamp, there is a moment where the lizards seem lost. They're kind of conferring. One of them's biting his nails, the other one's biting the tip of his tail as they're sort of looking around, trying to navigate the best course of action. You realize that this is going to... You need to help mediate on their problem. And I need you to give me a persuasion check, if you please.
Can I give him a bardic inspiration? Like, you always know the best way to talk to people. You can do it. Speak
you can give him bardic inspiration. Why not?
Okay, so it's a D8.
Oh, thank God.
And yes, we thank you for your donations. France is rooting for you, Warren.
Oh. Hey, for France, let's figure this out together.
Yes!
There we go. Right.
Damn.
Anyway, all for France. Let's throw it all for France.
32. That is a pretty good roll. You chat to Ix and Ox, and you discover that they are trying to determine whether they think you guys are good enough to take a shortcut or to continue on this route. And their dilemma is, if you continue on this route, you kind of been okay so far, but they don't want you to die. But the longer you're here, the more chance there is to die. But if you take the shorter route, you might die faster, but you could also get out faster, which means there's less chance of you dying over the longer period of time. Hence their dilemma. What course of action should they take?
Short and sweet, good to eat. Let's do this.
They nod.
I know speech Draconic, so I have no idea.
Ox looks back at you.
You sure you're not a lizard?
No, but maybe part dragon. Why not?
They kind of nod as like, that explains things. That explains things. Humans usually don't encourage us to eat things that are short and sweet, like gnomes.
Oh, God.
I just go back to Flora, just like, hey, short and sweet, good to eat. I just go for it. No context.
No context whatsoever. All right, so we're back to the top. We've got 2 passes, I think, and 1 failure. That means you need 1 more pass before 2 failures. Anyone can make this roll. You are moving through the swamp, and it has now got to the point where you have to make a survival check. One of the 3 of you, give me a survival check.
I'm pretty. I know my way around here.
I got a +3.
I've also got a +3.
All right.
+2.
What's up to you? I mean,
I can give you bonus. I can give you bardic inspiration.
let's do that. All right.
I'll give you. Okay, so it's a D8 now because I leveled up.
Kwa,
Ooh.
with a kwa.
Kamehameha!
Qua all the way around. That is a success. That finds you emerging after hours of trudging through this horrendous space. You emerge on the other side, seeing the last of the green glowing sludge slowly start to disappear behind you as you head your way up this mesa. Now, Ix and Ox stop again and turn and look at you.
You want to go up or straight to farm?
What do you think, Flint? Are they speaking Draconic right now?
I beg your pardon?
Do they speak Draconic or common?
This is common. This is common.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand what they mean up or farm.
Yep.
He points at the Mesa that rises up. Mesa is a very large promontory of rocky mountain-like structure. You kind of get them in where in the States you get them, Utah, Arizona, that sort of thing.
He wants to know if we want to take a look around or if we want to try and head straight in there. To be honest, I think actually I'm going to check the engine on Warren and Feloria's suits and see how much give it's still got before they need to.
Their suits are going to last for probably another 4 hours or so.
We'll need to go through quick. We should head straight up and get this over and done with.
I don't know. I'm tired. Let's take another long rest. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
All right. At this point, Flint will thank Ix and Ox. 2 of you have been mighty helpful. We probably wouldn't have been able to make it this far without you. He'll sort of like take some of the rations that he found, because we won't need rations and water and stuff like that much longer, because we know we have the rough stones to head back, and I'll give it to Ix and Ox to help them tide over until they get back to their clan.
They point at it looks initially like Rockface, until you realize that they could be an ancient deer path or an animal path that leads up the side of this cliff face towards this plateau at the top.
Good luck.
They both look at you, Warren, and
We appreciate your existence.
You know, and if you guys ever feel like you need someone to talk to, and I show them like the earth symbol again with the hands. Just be like, try this. Try to reach out, and you know, you might hear a voice, and it might be Delu. He might give you a little bit of guidance, and you know, maybe they'll give you some peace or find some strength, because both of you can make a change. Both of you have strength that maybe not even you know yet. So go make a difference.
they make the symbol.
We will listen for Delu.
They both say, as they've both been converted to the worshipping of Delu, convinced that this little human has clearly found the right path for all lizard folk to follow. And then they look back at the three of you. They kind of do this bow and sort of stuff the goods that you've given them into the various pouches and things, and then look at each other.
2 days, yes.
And then they start heading south, down towards towards areas that don't look as contaminated as the area that you are in. You head up that animal path, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we're gonna head straight for the ranch.
Sure. All right, now I'm going to close this down. As you make your way up the pathway, it becomes apparent that this is not the only outcropping of mountainous rock in this area at all. There are several dozen of them that seem to open up into definitely a canyon system of kinds. And once you get to the top, the ranch is very clear below you. And I'm going to give you the map right now.
As we're walking up, Flint's going to take this moment to tell Feloria and Warren a little bit about his world. He says that areas like the Sludge Land, they're the way they are because of something the gnomes did. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't take kindly to those overgrown, pompous tin cans. There's a good reason why certain things are forbidden in our particularly contaminated part of the world. The gnomes created a weapon and unleashed it on Braxia to try and stop the dragons from doing something worse. Instead, they poisoned the sky, the land, and the water. If Mr. McCready and what he's doing is gonna rip apart and tear out other worlds and make them like this, then I want you to understand that there ain't no higher sacrifice that can be made. There ain't no price not worth paying to make sure that doesn't happen.
I understand. At least as best as I can. We'll stop him. But if we can, maybe we can try reasoning. But if not, then for the good of all, then.
I think our top priority should be getting the artifact first. Dealing with that, then dealing with him.
All right.
Just get it out of his hands.
Flint sort of, he neither agrees nor disagrees. He just silently marches forward.
All right. So with that sort of said, I will show you the map.
I'll take your silence as agreement.
I'll take your cold and stony silence as agreement.
I would ask him, does he have any family or loved ones here?
Flint says the Ironborn don't really have those kind of relationships. The folk that I did like, well, most of them are gone now, and me being anywhere near them will cause them an end of trouble that I just don't need to bring on the people I care about.
That's true. That is true. Sorry, I'm lost in concentration here. I'm busy showing you what you can and cannot see of this ranch.
So, on another note, I should probably also mention that those suits don't last forever. And, yeah, bright poisoning is one of the worst ways you could go.
What's that?
Well, first of all, your blood starts turning into this iridescent green, blue, huey haze, and you start coughing up what you think is blood, but is actually liquefied organs.
Oh, God.
Then, slowly but surely, your bones begin to calcify, turning into crystal, before your body mummifies, and you just lay down low. Your flesh then starts to bubble and boil, and you turn.
Oh God, it's at the end.
And you turn basically into a pool of what those sludge. Wait up, guys!
No,
We're not racing to the top.
This is just phase 1. There are 16 phases.
Yeah, we got it. Horrible, horrific death. Let's go.
Ignorance is bliss.
And I've shared the map with you. I'll share it with you guys at home. So there you go. That is what you can see. The players can't see the grayed out areas. What am I doing? I'm still in that mode. Yeah. So.
Oh my God, there's a giant grayed out place.
There's a giant grayed out place, yes, on your maps. For the rest of us, we can't still see that. Anyway, it's this massive compound, and the mesa that you're on, yeah, you don't want to do that. It's a drop of about 60 foot from this area down into the compound, but it does allow you to see what is going on. And what you can see is several gnomes, all wearing these rather heavy, how can I put it, rather heavy pieces of equipment. Sorry, wrong thing.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
So you said it was a 60-foot drop that we could see in front of us?
Correct.
How heavy do you think Flint and Flory are? Do you think it's possible for Warren to carry them?
What's Warren's strength?
Warren is, I believe, his strength is 17. Let me double check. No, it's a strength of 16.
Yeah, Flint is the component that you have to worry about. Flint is.
But otherwise, it's possible.
It is possible. Yeah, you might have to do some checks to maintain yourself, but you should be good.
Flint's pretty confident about climbing up and down.
Right. So, yeah, you can see there are at least 5 gnomes standing on towers where they're currently positioned. They're standing on top of towers in sort of sentry duty. The ones closest to you, there's 2 that are they're only about, 40 feet away, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet away. They're not looking at the mesa because the rock face is boring. They are sitting quietly playing cards with one another. The rest of the compound seems fairly empty. In the center of the compound is this rather bizarre-looking withered tree. Definitely not like the cacti that are all around you. It rather empty and alone. And every now and again that cracking sound happens, but that comes from the actual structure itself, the main grayed out area. And that cracking sound, when it does that, the whole building seems to again dislocate itself and feel very, very weird. And you can see these holes now starting to appear around the building. Those holes look very much like dimensional portals. Now, at the far end of the mesa, so from where you are, you can look down the length of it to the north. There is an old tower. It seems abandoned and crumbled. That is on a higher promontory of rock. That looks down over everything as well. It does not appear to be manned from where you are. What are you doing?
There could be supplies in there. Like more bullets and stuff for your guns?
I managed to resupply before we headed back out. Thankfully, that commander had quite a few firearms waiting inside the Fort Lost. But that does bring to mind an idea. Freddy, Warren. I don't know who this Freddy person is. Where's it's just memories, old
It
memories.
could be also.
Some of the cogs not winding right. Listen.
No, I'm actually quite subconscious. Hey, buddy.
Oh God, get out of my head. Can you do that that fiery Dubomawaki thing again?
We should make sure that there's no one in there before we set that on fire.
The which one? Like the little flame I did earlier, or
Look, I need you to make it look like there's a campfire in there, or there are people on the lookout.
Let's make sure there's not actual people in there. Like, what if there's lizard people in there?
well,
Look,
you know, here's
look,
what I was thinking.
I'm not asking him to burn the whole place down. I'm asking him to start a fire to make it look like a lantern is in there. Then while their attention's drawn, we walk in down this side, climbing down the cliff face, make our way around back.
What if there's supplies in there to help us get down there, like a pulley system or something?
Looking down, how difficult would it be to scale the this edge?
Down into the compound itself, not too difficult. It's not a sheer drop, just quite a drop. That'll take you down. Yeah, like I said, it's a 60 foot down. Yeah, you're gonna have to make some climb checks, but nothing major. And if you were to fall, you'd probably slide most of the way.
See, this is what I was wondering, because what if we just go straight to the problem? See, the gnomes are up there, right? So I have something that can I can carry Floria, and you're really good at climbing, right?
Yeah.
What
Having
if we
serious deja vu? Didn't we have this conversation before about jumping on the train from a height or something? It was exactly this, where you said you could carry me.
Look, guys, look.
Yeah.
We need to all work together on this one, okay? Trust me on this. We do not want to alert these people. We do not want to fight every single gnome we come across. We have a job to do, and we need to get it done quick, smart, and in a hurry. So,
I know. I just mean those two. Just knock them out and then sneak
We don't
in.
even need to look at them, right? Unless they're standing next to a big dimensional portal, we ain't gonna be making a huge fuss with everyone we come across, all right? Trust me on this. Now, can you or can you not do what I asked you, Warren? Can you not start a fire over there?
Yeah. Where again?
He points over at the crumbling tower.
Which is about 180 feet away.
It won't be too big.
That's fine.
I'll just start finagling over there.
All right.
Warren,
You're just
go!
going to walk?
All right. Before you walk, I'll say that we'll climb down over here and that we're going to meet him against the southernmost crumbling wall. So once he sets the fire to meet us there.
Climb down as close to these two sentries as you can.
No, we're going to go... Okay, I'm going to move Flint just real quick.
Yeah, you can go.
So moving over to here.
Yeah.
Down to the south.
Oh, I
And then-
see.
And then climbing down over here.
I have 50 feet of rope. Since you're so heavy, do you want to lower me down, and then that way we don't have as many checks to make?
Sure. That sounds perfectly right.
So I'll relay myself down with my rope on.
I guess I'll tie myself and be a rock.
So it's a crumbling building you're talking about, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The one all the way to the north. All right.
So can I just spam Sacred Flame a bunch?
Yes, you can. Before you get there, however, are you just walking across the top of this thing?
Can I try to be
trudging over?
sneaky?
I don't know. I just want to know how you're moving across. That's all.
Let me see. Let me look at this. There's really not a lot to cover. You know what? Warren's gonna try and look really cool, and the whole time it's gonna be like da 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 da. I'm sneaky Warren, and like do like unnecessary rolls behind these cacti in multiple places. And I'm gonna try and be sneaky, but I have heavy armor, and that'd be with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. All right, give me a sneak check. Let's see.
Okay, I can do this. I'm being sneaky. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Please tell me his.
I'm being sneaky. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
4.
No
Oh
wonder.
my god!
All right. Well, you're busy sneaking. It's fairly obvious that Flint and Floria, before you start climbing down, you are convinced you actually hear, because he's forgotten that his button has been tied down, that you hear this humming sound. Yeah, this.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
I'm being sneaky.
Coming from the north side of the plateau. You hear it. It echoes around the plateau and down into the valley as well. Simply because of the acoustics of this space. So yes, he is not being as subtle as he had hoped. Those two guards and this guard all now look up and watch as they they kind of watch what Warren is busy doing. Warren, you get to this tower.
They're all looking at him?
They're all looking at him.
I'm going now. I'm going down.
I just want to turn around and be like, shh, I'm sneaking!
Echoes out across the farm and the run.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna start doing it. I'm just ignoring them. I'm gonna start casting Sacred Flame as much as I can.
I didn't say anything to you. I'm just going now. I'm rappelling down while they're all looking at him.
All right.
Yeah,
you start...
no, exactly. That's what I'm just like. I'm saying shush to the guards. I'm just like, shh, I'm sneaking. Because I know they're.
I'm sort of helping Floria down.
Right. So Floria, you can give me an acrobatics or an athletics check with +10 to that roll. I mean, basically, we're looking to see if you roll a 1 or not. Not a 1.
15
You
+6.
gracefully dismount on a 31 as you get down to the bottom without a problem. Give me a
Okay,
stealth
I'm gonna go
check,
up against
please,
this wall.
because I assume you're going quietly down, right? I mean, you're not.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get up against that wall if I can.
Sure
Oh
thing.
no!
Well,
I'm being sneaky. It's a catchy tune.
apparently it's a catchy tune. Yeah, you dropping rocks and things. They do not notice you, however, in comparison to the fire that is now being flung at the towers. Flint, what are you doing?
I'm gonna as soon as she's down, I'm gonna climb down as well.
Okay.
So
Acrobatics
I'm
or
gonna
climb check. You don't get the +10, I'm afraid.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
That's what you hear at the top. Uh-oh.
Can I make a stealth check to try and land like on my legs and like use hydraulics to relieve pressure from my knees quietly?
Oh, you want to try and quietly fall down this cliff? Sure,
Yeah.
Like a cat.
sure. Give me a stealth check at the very end of this.
Ow, 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 clang, crock, clack, duck, son of a I'm being stealthy.
It is kind of catchy.
It is really catchy.
All right,
Oh
you
my
take
God.
8 points of damage as you bash, bang, bounce, boink, and blunder your way down the side of this cliff. Idiot number 1. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Is that what you're calling Warren?
Well, no, that's what these sentries are called. Well, they're supposed to be idiots, but
Idiots?
now apparently they're rolling like absolute champs. They both hear that and come rushing over to this side of the tower, and I think we have to go into we're gonna have to go into initiative here.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is now a complete
God.
disaster.
Can I do minor illusion?
Minor illusion.
Yes, I would like to cast minor illusion of someone darting from. I'm going to use my figure, but I'm going to put it back from like here around the corner this way. I want to do a minor illusion, like a dark, like a shadowy figure just darting that way.
See, Flint, we're doing things my way.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pretend to be like dead, like just not move.
That's probably a good idea. Everyone who's watching me stuff this one up. What did I put him down as name 3?
By the way, while Guy is setting up, I want to thank whoever it is said that we can't do anything that's not combat because, yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Apparently, that's where you've been relegated to.
I'm being sneaky.
Oh no, this is destiny.
I'm being sneaky.
This is a disaster. All right, I'm gonna re-roll
We were
initiative.
doing so well.
We were. I thought the decisiveness would work in our favor, and we'd be like, "Yep, we'll go in, we'll get it done, perfect." No.
Oh no, I was worried about the swamp. Like I was scared, really scared about the swamp. This I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I was too. I mean, I just kind of was like, oh no, we got the climb check, and I was like, oh, I've got a +4. And I know Feloria's got like +6 or some nonsense for her acrobatic.
Give it a sneaky.
I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm
Fine.
We'll be fine. We'll be great.
I
All
totally
right.
want to make this now, actually. A little sound bite of the
sneaky
sneak
song.
song.
Oh
That's
my
it.
god.
Be sneaky. Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
The
Oh my god, this acapella, and we'll just all do like the background sounds.
Oh dear.
Yeah!
Oh dear, oh dear. You're just with Flint bouncing down the mountainside. The gnome that is standing on the tower closest to you, Warren, looks up at you and goes, "What are you doing?"
I have to burn this building down.
That is our tower. Get away from it.
Oh, sorry.
And I just kind of just start walking away.
Are you
Wait.
singing your song? Be sneaky.
So, yeah, before you move, just because of your initiative.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
he said wait. Yeah.
What?
He shouts, "Wait!" He appears to be holding. It is not a rifle. It looks like a giant metal ball on the end of a stick.
What's a bola?
Okay.
No, it's a melt stick from Thor 3.
Yeah. Don't move.
I can't. My friends are in danger. Bye.
That's what he's shouting. Then we go to the other one. Which is all right. That's Inquisitor number 2. He looks down at the unmoving Flint. He looks at you, Valoria, and says, "Don't move." And he's also pointing a silver ball on the end of a metal rod at you.
Is he wearing one of those suits like I did?
Much more robust. Looks almost like a little bubble of metal plating and bolts.
So I'm going to
Whoa.
yell at him.
What on earth just
You have
happened
to hold down the button. I can't hear what you're saying.
Oops. Fantasy.
We're AT&T now. Oh, now we're gone.
No, we're coming back, and there we go. That's so weird. It suddenly flipped over to gallery view. Anyway, sorry, we're back. We're back. Yes, what do you
Yeah.
shout back?
So I shout at him. It's like, you have to hold down the button. I can't hear you.
He literally stops looking at you and he checks his suit. And
I'm right around the corner. But woo.
that's what happens to him. Just before you do that, though, there's the third one who's acting before you manage to move. The third one says, he smacks his, "We don't have a button, idiot." And he continues to point his metal rod at you. "You are trespassing. You are under arrest."
We were told to come talk to McCready. He called us here.
Oh, then head to their main entrance.
Where's that again? It's been a while since I've been here.
The other one is still busy looking for his button. He's like, "I don't know about our button. I don't have a button. Where is your button, Clem?" The other one sort of gestures around the front of the building.
Oh my god.
No, I'm gonna go that way. Cause why not?
Okay, that brings us to Floria. You're going to go around the corner.
Yeah, sure.
You notice that Flint is not moving.
Are you? Maybe he's trying to be like Kronk, where he does that like whole phrase like. "Na, na, na," thing. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to pretend to be a rock or dead body. I don't know. I'm gonna go around the corner and wait for him.
He suddenly looks like a dead body. He looks like someone who's just fallen down a 60-foot cliff. So he looks mangled and dusty. So, all right, you're going to go around the corner?
I'm gonna go around the corner.
All right, you go around the corner.
We
Warren.
said anything necessary to get to this device.
He did indeed. Warren, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your building. I'm gonna go meet my friends. Bye.
just
Just
gonna-
start running.
gonna
All right, he's gonna fire at you. He's gonna fire this thing at you as you dash away. Where the hell is it? Scroll. I don't want to do that. You know what? He's just gonna roll. He fires at you. He hits an armor class of 16. That's not your armor class. It sort of bounces. From this ball, there's this arc of electrical lightning that zaps out towards you. It hits one of the cacti, which immediately explodes in these chunks of green and white, pulpy flesh and water all over the place. As you make a retreat, are you dashing?
I was thinking about that actually. You know what? I liked. Oh man. I'm gonna cast Spider Climb on myself and actually try to start hiding.
Spider Climb and hide?
I mean, I can't really do the hide action, but like I'm gonna move like, hang on, I gotta zoom in on this map.
You're like going down the walls.
Yeah, like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like 5, 10, 15, 20, and then like go like up the wall as much as I can, but like trying to like get out of eyesight of this guy.
All right, so just to clarify, at this point you have to climb down a 60-foot cliff face to get down into the valley. Yep.
Can I just jump?
You can.
Ignoring consequences.
It's an incline, so that you probably jump 20. You probably fall 20 feet and then another 20 feet, and then so it's not a sheer drop. But yes, you can. Give me an acrobatics check.
You got it. Ignore the consequences, and they'll never bite you in the butt.
Nope, they certainly won't bite you in the butt as you leap to. You leap down, taking 12 points of damage, landing.
Oh my god.
Yes.
In a mangle at the bottom of the cliff face. So that's your movement gone. You still gonna cast Spider Climb?
That's a good point. No, I'll do the dash. I'll use my action to dash some more.
All right, so you're gonna get to the where are you gonna move? You can move yourself to?
So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, just like around the corner.
All right.
Trying to get out of eyesight of this guy.
Sure thing. Flint, you are lying in the rubble, and you notice that there is a crack that has split across the front of your faceplate from landing badly. Can you give me a Constitution saving throw, as exposure to this wonderful environment is causing issues for you?
Ooh. That is a 14.
That is a 14. That is unfortunately a fail.
Uh-oh.
And on that note, we will continue the adventures of the Broken World Chronicles next week, when our intrepid heroes continue to attempt to break into the McCready Ranch and see what they can do about stopping this crazy rancher from fracturing all of space-time. Thank you for watching, and until thank you to all my players for failing every check I hope they passed, and passing every check I hope they failed.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what I was waiting for. I loved it. I'm like, come on, bite me in the ass, please.
And it did. It did not disappoint, as it usually does. All right, so that's the end of today's show. If you're watching on YouTube or on the podcast, thank you for watching or listening, and we'll see you all again next week. For those of you who are still in chat, the disastrous chat, I think it's now still working. Spider Warren does whatever Spider Warren does.
Yeah, they're wrong. I have a quick question for you, guy. Then,
yes.
did you want to talk about it like privately? What you guys should do next week?
I've got you covered. I've got you covered
cool.
because you're not here next week. I do know that.
Yep.
You're not here next week.
Yes.
So. Right. We are down a Warren next week, so the team will have to survive on that one. I'll talk about that in our pre-game session next week on how to handle not having a player present for one when your game is running. So we're going to look at that in the pre-game next week, which happens half an hour before the show starts. So that's at half an hour before the show starts. Whatever time zone you happen to be. I was like, and that's at 9:30, but it isn't because it's 9:30 Japan time. So there we are. Right, are there any questions that came through for the crew, for the cast? I don't know. I don't think there were many apart from... That's your plan. We're gonna jump into the ranch. We're gonna actually paradrop into the ranch. That's our
Well, you know what? The plan sounded great when I thought it in my brain, and you know what? The plan almost worked even when Warren kind of failed his stealth check. I was like, oh, we're still kind of good. We're still kind of good. And then I fell, and I was like, oh well, I guess Feloria's on this mission solo. Go, Floria, go!
Yeah, run interference. I got this.
I believe in
I'm just gonna go through all the doors. I have the knock spell, so I'm just gonna go housekeeping. Hello.
Magic.
No, actually, the one thing I did want to say, like just flat out is, no one expects the Gnomish Inquisition, and
I know one of the gnomes' names now, so now I could be like, yeah, Clem told me to come on in this way.
That's true. You did.
I know one of his names.
Kai, I have to say, you're a particularly sharp player in terms of using my own weaponry against me as a GM. It's like, well, maybe we can bottle this green stuff and just obliterate the clack door. I'm like, damn, that's such a good idea. It's like, I'm going to use Clem against him. It's like, what? You can't use my NPC names against me? Damn it.
Watch me.
It's lovely.
Watch me.
It's lovely.
Give me the tools.
Sorry, Karen, Michael?
Oh, no, I was going to say that is until, of course, he goes, what? You know Clem? Clem? Yeah? You know this chick? No.
Oh, my God. I think a few years ago, I had to run a mission, and I'm a girl character, but I snuck in as a boy, and my voice was really high. I couldn't do anything about it. So I started talking about how one of the players, like, hit me in the balls, so I had a high voice, because I just was like, oh, I know her! So, like, oh, who was it? I was like, you know that Joker! And then I pulled out a random name, and it actually happened to be one of his characters by fluke, and he's like, oh yeah, that guy's a jerk, right? I'm like, oh, I know it hurts so bad. And then I almost got through the entire mission till I got into the room and he was there because he existed. So it didn't work so well. I was like, he hit me in the balls. No, I didn't. Who are you? I got through almost the entire thing.
Nice.
Oh, it was awesome.
Nice.
You know, today's little battle, I was so happy that the flaming sphere actually worked. I was kind of hoping that would work, but I was also hoping that, like, God, you make the Lizard King run away. So I can be like, yes, thunder damage, fire, thunder damage, fire.
You know, it was so cool. It's like, you guys were like, oh, I want them to run away. I'm like, yes, that's a brilliant idea. I love that idea. Oh, as I added it to the roster, it's like, immunities, fear. It's like... Well, dang.
Is that how we had to go?
There goes that plan.
Originally I was gonna have the little fire go through the whole crew and have them oh, fire, because we don't know what that is, and have us just run through, but we just didn't have to go through them, so I'm oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, parallel means the other way.
Well, I do have to ask one question now that we're kind of out of the showtime and we're in the kind of post thing. So only the live people really know this. Did you actually have lizard eggs, or was that just yep, lizard eggs. Sure, why not? Yay.
I did not have lizard eggs planned. I had planned actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you because there's only 36 people watching, so I can deny all of you. I completely forgot about the lizard folk on the ridgeline. I had completely forgotten. I don't know what's going on. I had completely forgotten about it. The news I had an early morning meeting this morning, which completely threw me off because I've got so much to do. That when the session started, I was like, and Michael's just mentioned the lizard folk on the hill. What the hell are they doing on the hill? Because I wanted them to be dramatic, right? Because I'm pulling on the whole Western trope and that kind of thing, which I think is important to look at. And one of the things that I was exploring was the traditional idea of, especially the spaghetti Westerns, where the Native American Indians were perceived as being the evil force, rather than being the people that they were, which was, we're being invaded and we can't actually stop this from happening. So anyway, so that was the original plan why I put them on the ridgeline in the first place. So then I had to figure out, well, what the hell are they doing there? Because I didn't have a plan last week either. And circling around. They weren't attacking, because if they did attack, they would just annihilate you all. If there's 100 of them, they can rip those walls down and stuff. So then when you started to look around for stuff, I was like, well, bingo, he's stealing their eggs. That makes so much more sense. That's why they're there. So it was a nice out. It really was a nice out. So that is, you gave me an out, and I took it. Without a shadow of a doubt. I took it. So there we are. Confessions.
I'm coming back for this green goo, and I'm going to take it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm going to find a jar that can withstand it, so it doesn't melt in it, and then just dump it on people.
Oh, you actually have a scary combo. You have Floria, who's kind of like an evil genius. You have
I'm not evil.
Airborne that can make a bunch of like mechanical evil experiments, and then you have basically the Muscle, who's a young boy who has a moral set, but you can easily persuade him, going, "No, those are the bad people. They took your parents." Go. So you potentially have a very evil group.
I'm not an evil genius. I'm like, I won't start a fight, but I will finish it.
Yeah, I'm not an evil genius. I'm just a genius. I like that.
I'd like to think Flynn has been neutral this whole time. He's just a reflection of you guys.
Yes.
Like, you guys have got, and he's like, "Yep, why not?" You know.
I'm excited if we get into a world that we get our evil versions of ourselves, and they end up to be like better people.
Just like the nicest people.
Warren would, if it's the evil Warren, like he will smite him.
I'm interested to see an actual opposite evil version, because I kind of had an idea from Volstoy Floria, but I would like to see like the epitome of an evil version of Floria.
Right.
If you do that, guy, please let's talk. I have so many evil ideas.
I want to play my own evil character. I think that's quite fun. What do you guys think? We're getting towards the end of the show. Do you think that it's something that we should look at, is having them face off against their evil counterpart? They get to play themselves. I think that could be quite fun.
Flynn's counterpart will just be a different color. He'll be exactly the same person.
Oh my god, what a twist! They just help each other. They're just like, we should settle down.
They're like, you're on the sidelines just watching, like, yep, and we're like duking out like full epic battle, like trying to kill the other stuff, and they're just sitting there like, so how's it going?
We'll side with whichever whichever ones win.
Do yours cause you as much trouble as mine? Oh, bro.
Oh, don't get me started. There was this one time on a wagon. I was being eaten by a crocodile. Right? Warren runs straight through the caravan, starts punching the guy who's nearly dead. I'm sitting there with this giant beastie wrapped around me, going, "Give me a hand."
We're in the middle of battle. I yelled over, "To be fair, that thing became your pet, so don't complain."
Yeah, I would give as much as possible to you guys, like anything to make evil Warren as evil and powerful.
All right, well, let's have a look and see how we go on that one. Before we end off today's show, I just want to say that Wolfie Hologram, is Wolfie Hologram in the chat? Can you hear us, Wolfie Hologram? Wolfie Hologram has decided to donate something to those of you that watch these streams. So on Friday, Wolfie Hologram is going to be giving away something which is pretty damned awesome. There you go, Wolfie. You're in the Twitch chat. What's he giving? You'll have to find out on Friday. So come and watch the stream on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wolfie Hologram's been part of our Discord and part of the channel for quite some time, and has decided to give something back to all of you for being there. So, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Yes, thank you. Thank you for doing that. So Friday is when you will get that gift from him. And a long wait for you to go through, but yes, thank you to Wolfie Hologram for that. All right, thank you to my players. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not going to do a post-stream analysis today. I think we've had quite a lot of chat only. Wolfie Hologram, is it Twitch only, or is it also for those who watch on YouTube? Let's see. I suspect he's going to say it's for everybody who's in the live chat. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, let's see what it is. So there's another question there. Is the evil McCready and evil Flint? Well, we've established that he's a gnome, so it was quite a cool idea, but we have established
and he's from my world. I mean,
so there we go. And Wolfie Hologram says, "Why not both?" Absolutely.
I've been waiting for you, Flint.
Who are you? I'm your brother. Oh, jeez.
I'm your other
No.
brother.
Not
Yeah.
possible.
You can follow me on Tinder.
All right, there we go. If you want to, actually, that's a good thing. I don't do this very often. We should do that now. If you want to follow these crazy players, Dead Aussie Gamer, tell us about what you do and where we can find you.
Oh man, I do tons of stuff. I basically do a lot of performance-based advice videos. So kind of like but mine's all like about being a good role player, being a good actor, and entertainer. You can find me on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Twitter. All under the Dead Aussie Gamer handle. Yes, I think I'm still on Twitter as an Ask a Pathfinder, which is very weird. That's my old name, so yeah, don't worry about that. I do some shows, I do some things, I hang out and chat, and yeah, I love meeting new people. So yeah, definitely pop into any of my things, say hi, and I'll say hi back.
There you go, Kai. Can we find you? You're not back online yet. Not yet.
No, so for anybody who's trying to follow me, right now I'm currently not in my own house. My house had a fire, so I used to stream Twitch, Pixie Chick, so if you want to follow me now so you can find me later when I get back to my home, I am Pixie Chick on Twitch. Online, you can find me at Kai Gallant on Instagram and on Twitter, and if you want to follow my dog, who's absolutely adorable, you can find her at Trinket_Tails on Instagram as well. But yeah, Kai Gallant, Caigallant. I do a lot of actual acting in real life. I work with a company, so it's cool.
There you go. Lovely. And Freddie, where can we find you? You've still got a live show that you're doing, right? Your show hasn't ended yet, has it?
Mine?
Yeah.
No, it's actually it is done currently.
Okay.
Campaign 1 for Joy Quest is done, but we have the whole thing on YouTube on Joyride Entertainment if you guys want to check that out, or our SoundCloud. Same thing, Joyride Entertainment. We have basically the whole thing. I'm still sending those out, but Campaign 2, we actually have a trailer and stuff we're excited to reveal pretty soon. Don't know when we're going to show that, but be expecting us back for Joy Quest Campaign 2 somewhere in midsummer, and I'll give you guys that exact date very soon. I've got my own Twitter. I've been trying to actually post a bunch of Twitter stuff.
You've been doing a good job so far.
Yeah, with it's Freddie FREDDIE_Heinz like ketchup HEINZ. And I just post a lot of silly stuff, but most of my actual Twitter is updated with a lot of the parodies we do from Droid Entertainment, the D&D session we do from Droid Entertainment, and also updates on hopefully my growing voice acting career. So yes,
Freddie _Heinz.
Yeah, FREDDIE then _HEINZ.
I got you. There we go. Now we can follow you. See?
And where can we find Guy?
He never wanted to follow me in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't following you. It's weird. Anyway, all right. So thank you for that. Yes, we've got some really cool stuff. If you haven't had a look, Fantasy Grounds College is going to get some more questions from me because they told me I could do something and then I couldn't figure out how to do it. But surprise, technology and me had to fail. So there we go. And that's pretty much it. So if you don't know where to find me, then I'm not sure how you're watching. So yes, Friday we've got that giveaway from Wolfie Hologram, as well as an announcement of what's going to be happening on this channel. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and until next time, thank you to my players for playing. We will see all of you on Friday for live sessions with a GM. Otherwise, we will see you all again next week. Same time, same place, same channel for even more crazy adventures from the Broken World Chronicles. Till then, goodbye!
Bye guys! 2 weeks! Bye! Where's the thing? There it is. Bye guys!
I mean, just in general. So, if you go into your Twitch and go into where it says live, so you know how you go into your video producer, and then on the left-hand side at the top. Okay. Okay, so at the top, there should be a little search bar. You need to type in the channel of who you want to raid. Okay, so if you've got someone who's like streaming now that you like, you can type them in and then hit the raid, and it'll give you a couple of seconds of cooldown, and then you hit raid, and then you're raid. Like I said, I wouldn't do it now, but I mean maybe something for the future. Oh, can you? Oh, hello. Hi guys. Hi everyone. You be quiet. Bye, guys.